Well, happy Friday, everybody. Ben and Woods, 97.3 The Fan. Great to be back here with you guys. I was out yesterday. You may have missed me. You may not have. I'm not sure yet. But it's good to be back with my boys, my brothers, Ben and Paulie. I'm Woodsy. That is Paulie Reindl. He is the imaging director and executive producer of this program. Ben Higgins, your friendly neighborhood sports anchor, joins us as well. Good morning, Benjamin.
It's good to have you back.
Great to be back.
I want to shout out to Paul Reindl, who always does a great job, but when you're gone, kind of has to even wear an extra hat in terms of content, and he killed it yesterday.
Good.
So thank you, Paulie. We had a good show. Never a great show when one of us are missing, but we had a good show yesterday. But it is very good to have you back. I was curious.
Shout out SD.
Shout out SD. Yeah.
I was curious to see just kind of how you'd look this morning.
Why is that?
Well, I mean, I know you go and do a concert, and obviously you said it wasn't even to start until after 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
So that's a late night for you, and you made the commitment to come back and do the show on Friday instead of take the whole weekend off, which I'm very appreciative of. But you don't look bad. You look like you made it through okay.
I did.
You're in good health.
I'll tell you, when you do something like that, I was telling my wife, I said, you want to make sure if you're going to take a day off, right? Which is, you're taking a day off. I feel like I'm leaving you guys in the lurch or whatever, but I know you guys can handle a day. You want to make sure that it's worth it, right? The drive up to L.A., you want to make sure that the show is good. If the show was terrible, you're like, man, I just blew a day off for a bad show. But this was not it filled my, it sounds weird to say, it filled me up.
What kind of show was this?
Your cup runneth over. That's great.
It was.
So that's what the VIP pass gets you.
It was incredible, and the whole day and night, everything was great. When I drove up to L.A., no traffic, and I mean zero. Not even a stoppage.
That's 2 in a row.
That's
We went up for the Callaway
yes.
event, and we had no traffic that day either. Crazy.
It was amazing.
It was like eerie.
It was, it's like, don't say anything. Shut up.
And Ben was like, hey.
Ben was like, hey, have you guys noticed? We're like,
shut up.
Not a word. So, cruised right up. And you guys, did you tell the Dr. J story yesterday?
We did.
You did.
We
as a matter
did.
of
We were
fact.
very excited by your yet another Forrest Gump-like run-in with
Insane.
legendary characters left and right.
Too bad I didn't know who it was.
Ah.
And you told all of that, right?
We did. We told the text, the confusion. You knew it was some sort of NBA player.
Well, I saw
you
his
identified
ring,
that.
and I couldn't see who the ring said. But I know that man's face. I knew it. When he walked in, I go, that's somebody. It's somebody. And by the time I got the answer back from Adam, he's like, Dr. J, you idiot. And I was like, damn it. So I would have totally gotten a selfie with Dr. J. He was cool. He was actually haggling with his bill a little bit, which is pretty funny.
Was he? That's impressive.
Yeah,
I like that. Well, actually, Paulie and I just last night set something up just to make sure that if this ever happens again, you will be well prepared.
Like, Bo has a book.
Yeah,
He does.
he's
Dr.
got
J
his
is
probably
in.
book.
He's
He's
in
got
it.
to be totally in there.
Yeah.
So just we have a little test set up. If
Okay.
you're on our YouTube stream, you'll be able to follow along.
Oh.
But we have some NBA legends for you
yes.
to identify here this morning. We'll just do a couple of them, and we'll give you just like 5 seconds, just your initial impression. All right, who is that on the screen in
Like,
front
this
of
one's
you?
easy.
I got to pull this.
Yeah, you got to pull up the screen, but these should be fairly.
That's
these,
Tim Duncan.
Very good.
Oh,
very good.
well
All right,
done.
let's go.
Okay,
Round 2
number
here.
2.
Clyde Drexler.
Very good.
Wow. All right, this one. I hope you can get this one.
Michael Jordan.
Okay, very good. Very
Okay.
good.
All right. How did you not get Dr.
That
J?
is Kevin McHale.
Exactly. And
Come on. Won an MVP.
I don't know. Kenyon Martin.
No,
Who is it?
it's Derrick Rose.
Derrick Rose. If you put him,
I'm impressed that you got Clyde the Glide.
if you put him in a Bulls uniform, that would have been better for me. I couldn't believe it. I was like, "What an idiot!" So he walked out, but no,
Dr. J's iconic.
he's
though.
iconic.
He's iconic.
He's iconic. Like iconic.
I mean, if
And I stared at
If
him.
I'm naming like
He's
5 to
top
10
5,
most
yes, it's
recognizable
him.
NBA players
That's
in
an idiot.
history,
He's
he's right up there.
It did not compute for me, and I just
Out of
knew
context.
it. I knew it. I was over like trying to look at the little iPad to see if his name was on there, because he was haggling over his bill. And I'm like, you're a sports radio host, you absolute dill hole. How did you not know Dr. J? But it was awesome, man. And then went to the show and upgraded our tickets to VIP. And so I got a picture with my idol, Chino Moreno, but he wasn't supposed to be back there. Like, he walked out of the dressing room in the VIP line. The VIP, all it entailed was you get to go on the stage and take a picture, which was cool, and then you get to get a front row seat. And we had to stand around for 3 hours.
And this
but it was
was
worth
at the
it.
Palladium
in Hollywood. And so
VIP entry was 6?
Yeah, 6 o'clock.
What time did the show start?
Well, the DJ came on at about 8.
Okay.
So, but like, you're not there for a DJ. It was literally a DJ, like playing songs and scratching records for an hour. So I was there for 3 hours before Crosses took the stage. So you know me. 3 hours, I was like, ugh. But you can't leave because you don't want to lose your spot because you're right in the front. So we grinded that out, and then they came out and just, I mean, they blew the doors off the place. It was incredible. And I left there feeling so happy and that I made the right decision. And then last night when I got home, you put the kids to bed, and I was laying in bed going, oh, I miss it. And I told Hannah, I go, they're playing in Europe in June. I may fly over for a couple of shows. She said, absolutely not. It was one of the best shows I've ever been to, being able to be that close. And they played. So the one I went to before was kind of their warm-up. They were getting ready for a tour. So it was kind of like, hey, we're going to do an hour. So they did an hour.
It's like Foreplay.
It was like Foreplay. And then this one, 2-hour set, blew it out. It was incredible. It was incredible.
Did they recognize you from being at the first show?
They did not.
Okay.
They did not. But getting to take a picture with Chino, he was so nice. And it was just it was really special. And we had such a great time. So it was awesome. Thank you guys for letting me do that. Thanks to my wife for letting me do that. She doesn't even ask questions anymore. So I won't do it. This is my promise to you. If I'm half-assed into a band, I will never take a day off. It's got to be one that I love. And there's about 4 that I'm like, sorry, fellas, I got to. If they played San Diego, like tonight, I would have gone to the show tonight. But they skipped San Diego, as so many bands are doing right now. There's a lot of tours being announced. Kings of Leon has a big tour, and they're skipping San Diego entirely. So
Are they one of the 4?
Yeah, I'd say they are. I'd go see them live.
Considering how much Kings of Leon we listened to on the drive to Arizona, I would hope they're one of the 4.
They are.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Deftones
/
Crosses.
Afghan Wigs.
That'll
be happening in July, just to warn you guys now. 2 nights.
In Anchorage, Alaska.
No, they'll be here. And they're going here, Anaheim, and LA, and I'm going to all 3 shows. Back to back nights. I feel like a Grateful.
You're like Bill Walton following
I'm like
the
a
Grateful
deadhead.
Dead.
Yeah, I'm like a deadhead. But it was awesome. It was just like, I needed it, and so it was great. Thank you guys for letting me do that. And I talked to Paulie after. I said, how'd the show go? He said, it went quick. I said, well, that's good, because when it's just a 2-man show, it can drag a little bit. So I'm glad it went quick for you guys.
I think after the show, I said that actually moved along pretty quickly. I don't think there's any iconic moments that we're going to be reliving for the rest of our days from the show yesterday.
Yeah.
But went fairly smoothly. Got through the 4 hours and knew you were coming back for a Friday show, so we could end the week on a strong note today.
Yeah, they're already calling me a Dodger lover in the chat because I went to LA again. They're not playing here. Everyone skips San Diego.
Well, who do you think ruined Gavin Lux when he was up there? Obviously, it was Woods.
Right, it was me.
Yeah.
I
can't throw the ball to first base anymore. I mean, whatever you did
arm.
while you were up there, I know he's in Arizona right now, but something you must have done has already ruined their season. So good job on that.
And I'll say it again. I loathe the Dodgers. But I like going to L.A. for concerts. I really do. They've got the most incredible venues. Every band plays there, and it's fun to get away for a night. It was great.
It's okay to love San Diego, be all about this town, and realize that it's not perfect in every single way.
Correct.
I've lived here my entire life. I love San Diego. Wouldn't want to live anywhere else.
Never.
It's not completely perfect here.
For
we
me,
have a few things there
pretty close though.
that
pretty
are lacking.
close,
As close as you can probably get. It's way more perfect than LA is.
Way more.
But there are, as you said, in LA, certain things they have that we don't have. It's just a matter of being, a 10 million person megalopolis up there that we're not.
So many bands look at the tour schedule and the tour stops and go, we're not driving the 90 miles down to San Diego to play, for whoever. And it just happens all the freaking time. So had they played here, I would have gone. Honestly, I probably would have gone to both because I love that band so much, and they are so special to me. So it was incredible. It filled me up, as I mentioned, a couple times now.
That's the VIP treatment.
I got filled up. Yeah, it was great.
Your heart is full.
My heart is full. Yes. So it was awesome, dude. It was. Last night I was laying in bed just looking at the videos that I took. And I was like almost in tears because I wanted to go back so bad. It was so good. But anyway, so yeah, I do like going to concerts in LA. I do not like the Dodgers. Everybody knows that. So yeah.
If you looked at our rundown today, we have a special announcement coming up at 7:00. I'm not setting the menu yet.
Okay.
But it's not the announcement that was posted yesterday on our 97.3 The Fan social media channels. That was a different announcement, but if you missed it, we will be doing a weekly Padres roundtable with all the 97.3 The Fan hosts starting next Thursday and then beginning regularly in mid-April. That right at the end of our show on Thursdays at 10 o'clock, everyone's going to get together, and we're going to discuss what's going on with your San Diego Padres as a group, commercial-free for an hour. And the roundtable is very appropriately going to be brought to you by Roundtable Pizza. But
makes sense.
I just wanted to make sure if you hadn't seen that you were aware that we're going to get a little extra content coming your way this baseball season. And I also wanted everyone to know that is not the special announcement that we are making at 7 o'clock this morning. That is an entirely different announcement that we have coming up for you. Looking forward to it, though. Excited about what we have planned.
Now, that's optional, right? We go if we can make it.
The roundtable.
Right.
Well, we're here already.
Right.
You actually have to actively leave to not make it.
But
you'll be sitting right there. You don't have to move to be in the roundtable. Literally, you have to do nothing to be in the roundtable. Just not move from the seat where you'll already be in for the previous 4 hours.
Question. Why can't we just do it at 9 and have everyone come in an hour earlier and we just do it at 9 would be good for us.
I wouldn't be opposed to that, but that was not the agreed upon time, apparently.
Okay, but it is optional. I don't have to go if I don't want to.
I mean, I'm sure that there can be dispensations made if you have, a dentist's appointment one day that you can't get out of.
Speaking of.
Oh, that's right. When are you going?
Oh, dude, I've got oral surgery next Friday after the show. They have to take. That's
not Friday fun.
I've got a tooth that they have to lengthen so that they can put a crown on it.
I didn't even know how that would be done.
Bro, the guy showed me, the periodontist, and I went, oh. He's like, yeah, we just burned some of this gum off and it lengthened the tooth. And I'm like, is this hurt? He goes, he goes, let's see.
It doesn't not hurt.
He goes, I'm going to
give. Is that a medical term?
Yeah. He goes, you'll have a couple Valium. And he goes, then we'll numb you up and we'll do the thing. He goes, and then the pain is going to be pretty bad after, so I'll give you some Percocet. And I said, oh, then I'm in.
Are you driving up to L.A. for that?
No, I'm not driving to L.A. He is right there in Solana Beach.
Another perfect day.
Woods.
Love LA.
Well, they already did it.
So it's a week away, and I start talking about it, I start to sweat. I don't like the dentist. No offense to my great dentist.
I don't think anyone is a fan of oral surgery, so I think you've got a lot of company on that one.
This is going to suck, dude. All right, Carlos says, Woods, I had the tooth thing done. It shocked. Maybe he meant it sucked. Yeah, I'm not excited about it. He also said my mouth is going to swell up. I'm like, oh, so cool.
Well, I'm glad you're doing it on Friday and not, say, Monday morning.
Yeah.
So you have an entire week to deal with that.
Yeah, it's going to suck. So that's happening next Friday. Thank you for that, Carlos. Now I'm even feeling worse. But yeah, I am going to be a little long.
Just tell him that it's going to be okay. See, now there's at least, I had it done. It was fine. That's what Woods needs to hear.
That's what I need to hear.
Not that it sucked and it was horrible and it was the worst thing ever.
Like two Valium to calm you down, and then Percocet after. I'm like, what, are you amputating an arm? Like, what's happening in here? Holy cow. So that's going down next Friday.
All right, let's take a quick time out. We will set the menu for the show today. We got a very special show friend who is joining us a little bit later. We'll let you know all about that coming up. And we'll have some Padres talk, obviously, all ahead. It's Ben and Woods. It's Friday morning.
We got to talk about that graphic that came out yesterday. That is shocking to see.
Now, have we confirmed that it's accurate? Anyone can put what they want on the internet.
No, I think it's accurate.
Feels about right, though.
I think
so
it's accurate.
we'll discuss that as well. Coming up, Kelly's got traffic, and we are off and running on a Friday. Ben and Woods going until 10 o'clock, heading into the weekend on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. Here's Kelly. 6:22 on a Friday morning. Woods is back, which means Woods has the authority, if he so chooses, to discuss one story he missed yesterday from the world of sports. So,
I think I'm good.
would you like to talk about the sloppy USA-Canada soccer match,
I did.
Brian Dutcher's contract extension, possibly?
I did see some really gnarly video of Snapdragon.
Oh, yeah.
And where with every step they took, water just shot up in the air. I was like, how are they? Now, they just play through it.
They are not supposed to. The referee's supposed to go, this is unplayable.
Really?
Well, it's like a baseball game. If you hit a line drive into the outfield and the ball just stops dead, you shouldn't be playing baseball, right? Same thing with soccer. You play through elements and rain and conditions, but if the field is so bad that you're splashing around in it, you should not play that game, but they went on and played it anyway. It ended up being a good game. I thought Snapdragon Stadium took a bit of shade. I'm not sure whether the stadium had anything to do with it. Like, people were going, hey, did they not put drainage in this thing? It's still Mission Valley. We know that Qualcomm Stadium used to flood anytime it rained. It's in a river valley. I don't know how much drainage you can put into that thing, other than like installing huge sub pumps, which is a huge cost for, by the way, it's still San Diego. Very rarely rains. It just seemed like pretty bad luck that they got an just intense rainstorm right before the game and early in the game.
And people were saying it rained hardest at Snapdragon. Like, it was everywhere else was like okay, but at Snap it was like.
I'm up in Escondido. I had my window cracked that night, and I was like, I paused the TV. I go, damn, it is coming down out there, but it was nothing like happening here in Mission Valley.
Man, I had 5 friends that were at that game. Our buddy Sports Brain was at that game, and I was like, you have to love something so very much to sit out in that to watch a match, a game, whatever. I thought it was insane. So there we go. We covered it. That's what I wanted to talk about.
The championship will be on Sunday at, I think, 5:15 at Snapdragon Stadium, USA against Brazil. All right, here's what we've got coming up on the show today, and it could be juggled around early based on a possible guest. It's a TBD right now, waiting to hear back from someone to talk some baseball. But we will talk some Padres coming up. They were off yesterday, but I think we've gotten to the point here. We're close enough that it's time to start making some projections. Who do you think is actually going to be in the opening day starting lineup for the San Diego Padres? There's some guarantees. And
opening day or Korea?
Korea. First game in Korea.
Because that's different.
No.
Yeah.
The first game is opening day.
I get it. But that's there's 5 more people that will be on that roster.
Call it the home opener the next week because it's the San Diego opener, because technically opening day is a home game.
Right, but the roster in Korea is 31. The roster in San Diego is 26. So there's going to be 5 guys that will not be on that roster.
I don't know about that. I know they take 31, but I don't think they can play 31 in a game.
So why would you take 31 people?
Because you don't have to decide until right before the game who your 26 are.
Okay.
So you have the option of 31 for that week to play in the exhibition games. You have 31. But then when they get to the actual games against the Dodgers, I do believe they have to lower it to 26 to play in the game. I don't think they're getting 31 to play in the actual game. But let's just keep it to the starting 9. And, including the DH. I'm assuming Joe Musgrove and Yu Darvish are going to be the pitchers for that game.
Yep.
But I want to start, putting it on record who we think is going to be in left field for the Padres. Who's going to be the designated hitter for the Padres? Is it going to be Jackson Merrill in center field to start the season for the San Diego Padres? We can talk about that coming up this hour. As I said, special announcement at 7 o'clock. We will just hang on until then, but if you listened earlier this week, you might have an idea as to what is going to be happening here on 97.3 The Fan. Play some Take on Woods. We've had a couple of qualifiers this week. We had a real or fake qualifier yesterday for our new trip to Las Vegas at the Fontainebleau. You can win at 7:10. Don't do this at 7:20. Coming up in the second half of the show, we will continue our Tier 1 tour. We can probably make it a speedy one, the Oakland A's. I mean, we could have called like Jessica Kleinschmidt and gotten deep into the A's season and their prospects for 2024, but they're not very good.
No, they got a couple good players. They got a couple players to watch.
Yeah. Well, and that's probably where the focus will lie. Looking forward to 8:35. Eno Sarris is going to be with us. It's been a while since we've talked with Eno. He's in Arizona right now. He's doing his own tour of the Cactus League, including
Bro.
an Airbnb story
You guys.
that rivals some of our own travails in the Valley of the Sun.
Rivals? It blows ours. Ours looked like a Hawaiian vacation compared to if what Eno tweeted was true. This is, I don't even want to talk baseball with him. I just want to talk traveling with him. It is unbelievable.
I don't think Eno has a reputation of tweeting a bunch of things that are untrue.
True,
so
that's true.
I'm going to take his word for it that everything he said was verifiable fact.
I couldn't believe what a dump he got stuck with. Now, I'm also assuming he probably picked it. So it's going to be, I can't wait to talk to Eno. Like, I'm giddy about it.
Reindl Report, and we will get to the weekend and Annie and Elston at 10 o'clock, but hopefully it should be a good show to finish the week this week. Got a San Diego State game tonight as well against Boise State. It's senior night for the Aztecs,
night,
which is
last game.
Yeah, big one. Obviously, it's always a special night to honor the guys who have been in the program. Now, nowadays in college basketball, there's always that question mark because a lot of the seniors still have eligibility. Now, Jaden Ledee doesn't. This will be his last game at Viejas Arena. Same for Darion Trammell and Jay Powell. They cannot come back next season. But Lamont Butler does have another year of eligibility.
Yep.
He could come back next year. He's going to go through the senior night, but make the decision after the season as to whether he wants to, he tested the waters going pro last year, decided to come back. Hasn't had, a spectacularly individual season. Still a great defender, but is he ready to take that leap? Does he want to go pro? Does he want to come back? Micah Parrish also has that choice for the Aztecs, but they'll all go through the senior night ceremonies tonight at Viejas Arena. And a big game against Boise State. It's quad one game. Boise State, top 30 in the net. And the Aztecs need a win to make sure that they avoid the play-in game, the sixth place game in the Mountain West tournament next week, which would just be the last thing you want to do is risk injury, another game. Just adding another game, adding more, wear and tear to your starting lineup, to Jaden Ledee, to your legs right before the NCAA tournament. That would be a bad thing. So that makes tonight's game important for the Aztecs. Also a chance to finish out a perfect 15-0 season at home, which they have never done in the Division I era.
It's incredible.
Got San Diego State minus 7.5 tonight.
Okay. Yeah, I like that.
Senior night emotion.
Senior
They lost
night.
by 1 at Boise earlier this season. I like San Diego State at home. I mean, we've seen.
Say that.
They should be getting all the officials' calls, just like all the home teams get in the Mountain West. I would hope that pattern doesn't. Today is the day that all the road team finally gets all the calls. You always worry that there's no guarantee that the officials are going to keep their pattern. But
it's only natural. You are amped on senior night.
Yeah.
I mean, even their game against UNLV, they had a couple of their seniors, like the big guy down low in the post. He was unstoppable.
Yeah, their seniors were.
And the broadcast was like, he's having the game of his career tonight.
Got your families usually there,
Yeah.
all watching. You get the special ceremony. So that'll be happening tonight for San Diego State. But we'll come back, talk some Padres. There was a little bit of activity yesterday, even on the day off. So we'll get you caught up on Peoria, Arizona. It's Ben and Woods on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. Day off in Peoria yesterday. I saw some of the guys, Manny, out playing a little golf.
Yeah, Callaway was out there,
Yeah.
Helping those guys out.
Who else was out there?
Kind of an odd
Playing.
bunch. It was
Yeah.
Manny Machado,
Yep.
Graham Pauley,
Pauly.
Oscar Mercado, and Matthew Batten, I think.
And I know, like, some of the guys are TaylorMade guys. I know some of the guys are Callaway guys. But they were out there, having fun. It was a good thing to do. I saw Brett Sullivan went on a beautiful hike with his beautiful wife and baby. They were hiking somewhere. So it was nice, very nice for the guys to get a day off.
Not everybody got the day off. Joe Musgrove had to stay back and work in order to remain on his throwing schedule, which is kind of on the every 5-day
Cool,
plan.
guys. I'll catch you on the golf course later.
Enjoy your new driver fittings.
So
I'll be here just pitching.
He
just
got to pitch
grinding.
4 innings against a bunch of Texas Rangers minor leaguers in a B game.
Hope he did well.
64 pitches. I think he did 1 run, but said he felt good. Now, Michael King was also supposed to throw yesterday, and we talked about this, and Sammy kind of agreed that Mike Schultz seems to be setting them up on the same day, that you could have a piggyback situation in that
Right.
first game in Korea. However, as soon as Joe finished pitching, I guess the skies opened up and it rained out the rest of the game. So Michael King did not get to pitch.
Smart.
And he will probably throw today, as Yu Darvish is scheduled to throw today on the day after Joe, as he's been doing when the Padres return to action tonight against the San Francisco Giants at the Peoria Sports Complex. That is a 5:30 game, I believe, and you will hear it here on 97.3 The Fan, if I am not mistaken.
Yes.
Yes, so 5:30 tonight, Padres Giants as they get back to work, and that's I think there's just 6 days left. They've got Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then after the game on Wednesday, they get on the plane and fly to Korea. So we are down to the nitty-gritty of Padres spring training.
So 3 weeks, though, from right now, 3 weeks from yesterday
Correct.
is opening day.
Correct.
In San Diego. Oh, man, it's coming up quick. I can't wait. I'm tired of the speculation. I'm tired of the waiting game to see if they sign anybody. I just want to see who makes the roster. I just want to see how these guys look playing together. Optimism these days is frowned upon by a decent amount of the fan base, and I totally get where they're coming from. I felt it a little bit yesterday when that graphic came out yesterday, Benny, about the disparity in payroll from year to year, from last year to this year. And I saw it, and I knew it. But when I saw it, I went, ooh, kind of took my breath away. So Brooksgate tweeted out MLB payrolls at the end of last season versus currently. And it's got, at the top, to be expected, the LA Dodgers. They spent $236 million last season, up to $303 this year, a change of $67 million. And at the very end of the list, our beloved San Diego Padres, who went from $255 down to $160, which is a difference of $95 million. Again, jarring to see. The second biggest disparity from last year are the Angels. They went from 215 to 174, which is only a difference of $41 million. $54 million
It's a big jump from second to last in terms of the biggest change. Now, the Padres, I'm sure Eric Grupner would be happy to point out that even at $160 million, they're still spending more than half of the teams, or more than half of the teams on this list.
No question.
No one talks about the change in payroll. They should be talking about the overall payroll for the team, which remains very competitive. But you can't look at that and not at least kind of gulp and go, oh boy, that's a huge drop off from one season to the next.
Surprising to see to see the number that Oakland and Philadelphia $0 change.
$0
Nothing.
change. They did
Haven't
nothing.
done a damn thing.
If they lost somebody, now see, Philly just extended Wheeler, right? And they extended Nola. Why doesn't that?
Those don't kick in until after
this season, okay.
Perhaps. Or, they let, obviously Rhys Hoskins, he left, so that's a minus, and it's offset. It's
That's
a
true.
net change.
Net
It doesn't mean
change.
you didn't do anything. It just means whatever extra salary you took on was offset by salary you lost in the offseason. And I was wondering, I don't have the numbers for this, but given the economics of baseball, I would be unsurprised if this were true. I doubt there's ever been a team that has dropped as much in payroll in one season
No chance.
as the San Diego Padres did from last season to this season.
There's no
It
chance.
just would be almost impossible. Like you say, well, the Oakland A's are really cheap. If the Oakland A's dropped $95 million in payroll,
They'd be
they'd be in the
Negative.
like in the the positive.
The positive.
That actually the players would be paying them about $45 million to play the game at this point. It just is almost impossible to do so with the long-term contracts and the commitments that most teams have. You just can't shed that much. I mean, fire sales of the past, but in the past we were dealing with team payrolls that were like $30 million total. So you drop like $6 million. That's a huge change. $95 million from one season to another is jarring to see that.
It really was staggering to see it. I definitely furrowed my brow a little bit when I looked at that and went, oh, man. And, I think I remain as surprised as a lot of the fan base, Ben. I think, and we said it too, and I was tweeting about it with that guy last Friday. I did think that, okay, just because you're going to, lowering payroll is one thing. 255 was exorbitant for the San Diego Padres. But, how about 200 million? You know what I mean?
That was like the first reporting. It'd be around 200 million.
Bro, we're not close to 200 million.
Now the 160 is not the luxury tax payroll. That's a different number entirely because the 160 accounts for the fact that Fernando Tatis Jr. is I think he's making about 12 this year, 10 or 12.
Yeah.
Eventually, he'll be making 25, 30 million. Manny, I think, is only getting 10 or 15 this year. Eventually, he'll be making 35 million. The average of those salaries is where the luxury tax comes in. So the Padres are much more near like 215 million to 220 million when it comes to their luxury tax payroll number, which is just a little bit below that, I think, $237 million first threshold for the luxury tax. So, yeah, this, depending on what sort of numbers you're looking at, it'll look very differently. But this is the actual real cash of what the guys are getting paid this season versus what they were getting paid last year, I believe.
And as a baseball fan, of course I'm excited about our team. Of course I am. I'm actually really excited about our team. I was really excited about our team
Opening
last
day
year.
has a way of doing that.
There's no question.
I was excited in 2015.
Spring training,
2016.
it will get you. It got me for sure. It's going to get me. I'm just giving you my honest opinion. And I would say this if I worked on any radio station. I get excited about baseball, and I get excited about Jackson Merrill, and I get excited about Iriarte, and I get excited about Estrada, the new guys. I like what they've done. I do. I just think they need to do more still. I still feel like this team is incomplete. And if you have $20 to $30 million, I think they should spend it. Now, not just going and spending it on anything and anybody, but it's not just spare parts that are left over. J.D. Martinez is a designated hitter.
We talked about J.D. yesterday.
You need a designated hitter. Tommy Pham is out there. He's available. I'm not saying he's going to be a world beater. I'm not saying he's going to be a four-war outfielder. But I think you can do better than what you have right now. And I think it's their duty to do better. I do. And I'm all for giving guys a shot. I love it. And some people are pro Jackson Merrill opening the season in center field. Some people are against it. I'm for it. I've met him. We've talked to him. We've seen we've heard that he puts the work in. Look, if Jackson Merrill came up at 20 or if Jackson Merrill came up at 22, he's going to struggle at 22 even. He's going to struggle in the big leagues. Everybody struggles in the big leagues. So
we talked about him yesterday, and we were saying if you could take last year's roster and had a Jackson Merrill Merrill fighting for last year's opening day roster, I think he makes a strong case.
I think
even
so
with
too.
Trent Grisham, Juan Soto, Fernando Tatis Jr.
Yeah.
Boom, there's your fourth outfield.
I want to ask you a question, though, about signing a guy like Tommy Pham when it comes to prospects. And let's hold on that. I want to check traffic. We'll be right back in about 30 seconds here on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 97.3 The Fan Traffic Center, here's Kelly Danick.
Well, for the most part, we are looking at Friday-like conditions. We've got this one problem, though, a crash on northbound 163 just before the 52. That is over to the right shoulder. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben & Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
All right. Imagine you're A.J. Preller, and you are excited about some of your young prospects like Jackson Merrill and Jacob Marcy. But you also know there's a guy like Tommy Pham who is available out there, who is an established Major League Baseball player. We met Mike Shildt. We know his philosophy from what he told us. If you sign Tommy Pham and give him to Mike Shildt, don't you feel like Mike Shildt is going to probably play Tommy Pham pretty much every day in the outfield?
Yeah.
So what happens to your guys that you wanted to see this year get to the big league level and start playing? How do they break in? What's the criteria now?
Well, it's pretty simple. Tommy Pham plays left. Jackson Merrill plays center. Introducing three guys that are going to get a ton of playing time doesn't make a lot of sense to me. If you're the San Diego Padres, it makes sense to me. If you're the Oakland A's, it makes sense to me. If you're the Tampa Bay Rays, that's what they do. But the way that I would do it is I would sign Tommy Pham to play left.
Let's talk about Marcy then. If we're putting Jackson Merrill in center, you sign Tommy Pham.
Yeah.
And Tommy Pham is having a very Tommy Pham-like season. Sitting like 260, 340 on base percentage, a little bit of power. He's not an all-star, but he's doing fine out there. Jacob Marcy is killing it in the minor leagues.
Yeah.
AA, AAA. He's having a really great season. Do you bring him up and say, Tommy, you're on the bench now? Or, hey, things are going well. Let's not mess with it. How do you handle that going forward?
Well,
Depends on where we're at in the standings.
Well, you said
Can Marcy come in and DH and then spell a guy?
you sign Tommy Pham for 1 year. He's a 1 year guy.
You're not worried about blocking guys.
I'm not worried about if it's anything more than a 1 year deal, I probably wouldn't do it.
Okay, well, and if I'm Tommy Pham, if I'm JD Martinez,
Yeah,
I'm
you
still
want
asking
more.
for multiple years, or at least
An opt-out.
an option, an opt-in.
Have we had any problems doling out opt outs here? Has that ever been an issue?
But remember, an opt-out also has the option of an opt-in.
Yeah.
If you give Tommy Pham, a 1 year deal, but with 2 years of opt-outs, those also mean if he has a terrible season,
He'll opt in.
He'll opt in. And now you've got Tommy Pham next year as well at $8 million. And then the next year at $8 million.
But
and
again,
it's like,
we don't
need him anymore. We don't want him anymore. And now we're stuck
But we don't
with
have
him on the roster.
We don't have a designated hitter. So it's not, Tommy Pham, as Adam just said in the chat, he could DH. Tommy Pham could DH. Marcy could DH. Marcy could play left. So, this is not an uncommon thing in baseball.
I'm not. I'm playing a little bit devil's advocate here
it.
and trying to see what the other perspective might be from the front office of the San Diego Padres.
Well,
I
so
agree with you. There is room for one more edition at least on this team. There is room for one more edition.
And you say, the perspective of the front office. I don't know what it is other than I can just tell you how they're being perceived. That's all I can tell you is they're being perceived is that they're broke and don't have a nickel to spend on any other players. And that's the perception. There's one way you could dispel that perception, and that's by signing. And again, I don't look at a Tommy Pham or a JD Martinez as signing someone just to sign someone. There's legitimate needs there, and I don't know that all of those guys that we talked about are exactly ready. I do have a good feeling about Jackson Merrill being able to handle center field, and I have a feeling Jackson Merrill is probably going to hit better than Trent Grisham did last year, right? So if you can give me above that, I'm in, and it's going to cost you nothing. So I'm all for something like that.
All right, let's project just quickly. I think we can all agree, Campy behind the plate.
Yeah.
Crony at first,
Yep.
Xander at second, Kim at short, Tatis in right field. So, we don't know about Manny. Manny will eventually be at third base.
Correct.
He may be DHing to start the year. He may not be. But center field, left field, who are your starters, designated hitter, in less than 2 weeks for those first two games or the first game in Korea?
It's Jackson Merrill in center.
I agree with that.
It's Jurickson Profar in left. And I have Manny Machado as my DH and Eggy Rosario playing third.
You've got Eggy Rosario.
Yeah.
I was listening in the afternoon. Tony Gwynn Jr. thinks Tyler Wade will start at third base.
Could happen.
Opening day.
That absolutely.
He's
could
had
happen.
some major league experience. He's had a good spring. Eggy is certainly a possibility if that's the case. If Manny starts at third, who's your designated hitter?
It's a good question. Now that is where it gets semi-interesting.
Could it be a Graham Pauley?
Could it be a Graham Pauley? Exactly. Now
Is it Jurickson Profar?
Right.
Is it Sugar? None of those are terrific options for a team that says it wants to contend for a playoff spot.
Correct.
If that's what you're going with, a designated hitter right away. Now, doesn't mean that's who you're going for 162
Right.
games. It could change as the season goes on, for sure. But it does feel like that's a position where the Padres could improve greatly. As soon as Manny takes over third, DH is an area of concern for your San Diego Padres.
Yeah, no question.
So we all agree that the Jackson Merrill,
he's making
barring an injury, barring something surprising,
Yeah,
is ticketed to make the team.
Oh, yeah.
And we all think
exclusively getting all the starts in center.
Yeah,
he's-
we all
he's
think
their
he
opening
looks
day
like
center
your
fielder.
center fielder now.
Yeah. Yeah. I would be shocked. If
Won't be
he's not.
Sugar. It'll be Jackson Merrill.
I would guess. Lefty bat, too. You're going to be going up against two gnarly righties for the Dodgers, at least in the first two games. I mean, the guy could go 0 for 8 with 8 Ks. They're two really good
So could
pitchers.
Tatis,
so
so
could
could
Tatis, so
Machado.
could Manny, so could Xander. I mean, let's be honest. So I think Merrill just
So could Mookie, so could Freddie Freeman.
Yeah, they
I mean,
did it in the playoffs. It happens.
going up against you, Darvish, and Joe Musgrove.
I think Merrill absolutely makes this team, and I think he is your opening day center fielder, and that would make me happy. I'm excited to see him. I think the hype on Jackson Merrill is real, and listen, I think the hype on Graham Pauley and Jacob Marcy is real too. These guys are good baseball players. They're good bat to ball guys.
All right, so Jurickson makes the team. Sugar makes the team. You got one more spot for an outfielder, likely. I have no idea who that's going to be. I mean,
Mercado?
none. Mercado. Is it Locastro, who they just picked
yeah.
up? Is it Cal Mitchell? Is it Marcy, who's still in big league camp?
Well, with you said with Profar and Sugar on the bench, or Profar's in left.
Profar's in left, Sugar on the bench. So you'd have a fifth outfield spot
Yeah.
available for one of these guys, one of these non-roster invites or young prospects who is, and they've all kind of done some good things during the spring.
Who's the extra? You taking one catcher? You keeping?
You could keep
two
Sullivan if
extras?
you keep 3 and only keep 4 outfielders. That may be the answer.
He's kind of a hybrid infielder now.
Yeah, that's true. But then who do you need? You don't need 2 backup infielders necessarily. Eggy could be on the roster. He could not. He could be left off the roster as
Yeah.
well. I don't think there's any guarantee that he makes the team for sure as well.
I think I said it when they signed Tyler Wade.
Wade is a possibility.
I think I said he makes this team because he always finds a way to scratch and claw his way onto a team. I saw it with the Yankees, saw it with the Angels. That's just what he does. He is versatile. He's fast. Not a great hitter, not a big power guy, but he's got some versatility.
Does Batten even make the team?
I don't think so.
Struggling this spring.
I think he's ticketed for El Paso, my friend. I do. He's not had a good spring.
Tucupita Marcano has been hurt. He hasn't had a chance to really show himself yet. So we'll see. I mean, we won't even know actually when they leave for Korea because they're going to take those 5 extra players. There may be a couple of decisions that are made, but there will still be decisions that and adjustments that A.J. Preller can make before the start of those series against the Dodgers. All right,
guys are out there.
Got our special announcement coming up. Ben and Woods, you do not want to miss it. It is next, about 3 minutes away here on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. Hour number 2, it has been in Woods. Special announcement incoming in just a second. Again, Padres back in action today against the Giants at 5:30 here on 97.3 The Fan. After a day off yesterday at spring training in Peoria. Did you hear Sam Levitt's story yesterday?
No, I
not
did
on
not.
our show. But he was telling Scraby and Chris that because of the day off, we asked him what he was going to do. He said he might, explore and, enjoy his day off. So
Wait, so you guys gave him the day off, but Gwen and Chris still had him on?
we
I
had
had him on yesterday.
Yeah,
Oh, you did?
no, well, they weren't here. This is the story. So Sammy was planning to take the day off. So he went to one of those resorts, I don't know, in Scottsdale.
Yeah.
And bought the day pass so he could go do the pool day. You know how you can pay for just, you don't get a room at the hotel, but
Yeah.
they'll give you access to their pool and resort area for a day fee. I don't know what it usually is, like $30-$40, and you can lay on a lounge chair and
Done it
enjoy
before.
everything. Yeah, Paulie's done it before. You can do it at places around town here too. So he does that, and then it absolutely starts pouring. They closed the pool and everything,
Oh, my
and they
God.
wouldn't give him his money back.
You're joking.
No, they would not give him his money back. They said, "Hey, it's the policy. The weather is, you have to check the weather, and you bought the day pass." And he said there wasn't anything else to do. There's no access to anywhere else. I had only access to the pool. I bought access to the pool area, and they closed the pool area on me. And then they would not refund my money.
They closed it.
They
So
closed
it's
it.
not like he could have swam in the
In the
rain
no,
if he wanted. They said, you
closed-
got to go.
They closed the pool
See,
area.
I would say if you pay and they're like, look, it's raining, but if you want to stay, that's fine. You have to stay and rot. But if not, I got to give you your money back.
So he ended up just calling in to Chris and Scraby on the air and talking about his experience.
No, that sucks. That sucks. Sammy got hosed.
Yeah, I mean, the one day that he has off.
Adam said he'll call the resort for Sammy and get him that refund.
Well, actually,
I don't doubt it.
Chris said his wife Lori is great at that and has already sicked her on the resort to try to get
good.
Sammy's money back.
My wife's really good at that.
She good at that too?
Oh,
I am
she's-
terrible at that sort of
I am
thing. I just
too.
wear it. It's like
Yeah, I'll wear it.
I just wear it.
$40. It's fine.
whatever. But
Shout out, by the way, to all the wives and women. It is International Women's Day. Thank you for
Shout out wives and women.
shout out wives and women and
it's also Be Nasty Day.
ladies.
Oh.
Honey, if you're listening,
It's not specific to the lady.
It's your fun day. Let's do the Be Nasty Day today when I get home.
It's also Solar Appreciation Day.
I
so
do love our solar panels. I really do.
I like just the solar system.
Save
The
that.
sun is
Paula.
great.
Say that. Thank you. Yeah.
Where would we be without the sun?
Where would we
Woods?
be without women?
That's a good point.
You know what I mean?
Very good point.
Yeah.
All right. You said
We wouldn't be.
you were going to lead us on this announcement initiative this morning.
Well, we do have a big announcement for everyone listening out there. We had told you guys that we were looking for a place to do a watch party for the first game of the season. And that's, of course, the Korea game against the Los Angeles Tax Dodgers. And we are looking forward to that very much. Now, we put it out there, some ideas of places. We needed somewhere that maybe had Asian slaw. We needed a place that maybe you could play Texas Hold'em while you were there.
We wanted a smoke-free
We
environment.
wanted a smoke-free environment. A player's menu would be solid if they have that. And it was tough to find a place that had all of that. Open
24
24/7.
Friendly dealers. I can't watch a baseball game without friendly dealers.
I can't either. I can't either at all. And you want a nice view of the bay, perhaps. So we did end up finding a place that has all of that. And, of course, we're talking about our very beloved 7 Mile Casino.
Let's
Just 7
go.
minutes from downtown, everybody.
And that graphic that Paulie just put up is correct. 3:05 a.m. may be the first ever San Diego radio promotion that starts at 3 in the morning. I've been here my whole life. I don't remember another one. Now, you've done the old 24-hour on a billboard thing, which we weren't going to do for this.
No, I didn't do a 24-hour billboard.
You didn't do on a billboard? Where were you on?
We did a 24-hour show. Like we were on.
You never had to stay on a billboard for all day or anything?
No.
Is that a different radio station that did that?
Yeah, AJ used to stay up in the crane, the kids' crane, and it was a nightmare. I would go see him every year, bring him toys, and it just looked like death. He had to live up in a tall crane. I love that bit. It's a great bit. But he raised a ton of money and toys for kids, which is awesome. This isn't going. We're not doing. This is not a charitable thing. This is just a fun time for all of our diehard Padres fans who we're going to give you a place, man. If you want to come hang out and watch a game with us, you get a chance to do that.
Yep. We even have an official sponsor, Soapy Joe's, the official sponsor of the Padres in Seoul, South Korea watch party. Join Soapy Joe's at 7 Mile Casino. Soapy Joe's Car Wash. Good, clean fun. So
that's what we're looking to have. Good, clean fun.
We invite you to join us at 3 a.m. or maybe a little bit before to get your place out on the patio. We're going to bring a bunch of extra TVs in. The restaurant is open 24/7, so you can order food and enjoy yourself during the game. And then after the game, Sammy's going to do his post-game show, and then we will have our Ben and Woods program live, probably starting around 7 o'clock until 10 a.m. at 7 Mile Casino on Wednesday, March 20th. Very early in the morning on Wednesday, March 20th.
Is Sammy going to do his post-game show from there, or is he going to do it from here?
I bet he's here.
I don't know the answer to that, but I assumed he would be here.
Okay.
But either way, we will be there, and I'm curious to see how many Tier 1s, how many 97.3 The Fan listeners will join us at that hour of the day. There is intense excitement, as always, for the Padres, no matter what. There are diehard Padres fans who are planning to watch it anyway, and I'm sure a lot of people are planning to watch it in their living room or just laying in bed.
Yeah.
But if you'd like to experience it with your fellow Padres fans, this is the place you can do it at 7 Mile Casino in Chula Vista.
That's exactly right. And, people are asking, will coffee be available? Yeah, man, they have the 24/7 players menu. They're going to have a menu. They're going to have servers out there for us, taking care of all of your needs.
The only thing you won't be able to do
is drink alcohol.
Is order alcohol. They cannot do that after 2 a.m.
Who in the world wants to sit down at 3 o'clock and be like, can I get a gin and tonic? Like, forget it. You have a problem. I don't want to judge you because I've been there, but you have a problem.
Jeff wants to know, can this be a pajama party?
Sure.
I mean, it's a public establishment, so make sure.
You want, though.
I mean, it just depends on what kind of pajamas you wear.
Listen, I'll put this caveat out there right now. I'm just gonna go ahead and say it live on the air so that you can bookmark it. If the Padres get down 8-0 in the first, I'm going back to bed. I'm leaving the hotel, and I'll see you guys for the show.
I mean, is there any precedent to the Padres falling behind 8-0 in the first game against the Dodgers recently?
There is. I was there. It was one of mine and Hannah's first dates, actually.
Well, it also happened 2 weeks ago at spring training in the first game against the Dodgers as well.
I'm telling you right now, so that you know, if they start getting bodied, I'm going back to my motel room at the Rambler, and I'm going to go back to sleep. Okay? Everybody heard me say it.
Someone will have to go roust you for the start of the show?
For the start of the show. I cannot sit
It's up. It was an amazing comeback. The Padres won 13-12, and you missed it.
That would bum me out. That would bum me out a lot. But listen, it's
Joe's not going to let that happen.
I don't think so, man. I'm somebody says he's looking forward to doing shots with me at 3 a.m. Bro, I got to do a show after. I mean, there is no way. Yeah, 7 Mile does have rooms. There's a little motel next door. It's called the Rambler. You can book a room. We're all staying there. Not together, but we are staying there. And, yeah, we'll stumble over at 3 a.m.
area. We can all sit out by the pool if you want.
Yeah, a little arcade area.
Yeah. Play some games.
We're looking for a caller for Take on Woods.
Oh yeah, thank you.
833-288-0973. We did just get a call that I just took. He didn't want to play Take on Woods, but he goes, "Hey, I'm a new listener to the station. I think there's a lot of new listeners to the station. What the hell is a Tier 1 listener?"
Okay.
And I thought, you know what? It's a good idea for us to maybe
reset.
explain every once in a while some of our inside stuff.
So
inside lingo.
when we first started the show and we started building a following, we wanted to have a quick name that we could refer to everyone by other than just, hey, Ben and Woods listeners out there.
Yeah.
Audience.
Clones.
And
Clones.
And we started having a discussion as you can subscribe for certain things. You've got different membership levels. There's Tier 4 and Tier 3 and Tier 2 and Tier 1. And I kind of went through the whole thing. If you listen, hey, just for 5 minutes on your way to work, you're kind of a Tier 4 listener. And as you listen more and are more integrated into the show, you participate, you call in, you watch on the YouTube stream, you rise up and you become a Tier 1 listener. And then we had the pandemic, and we were all in it together, and we just promoted everybody to Tier 1, right?
The way it all went down was we were, that day brainstorming for a term to call our listeners. And we had Padres chairman Ron Fowler at the time on our show that same day.
Yep.
And he explained to us how they evaluate their roster, not just the 25-man roster, but like the whole group of players. And he said they break it down into tiers. Yeah. And they have 4 tiers, I think they had, maybe 3. But he said, Manny Machado, he's a tier 1.
Yeah.
Fernando Tatis Jr., tier 1. Stuff like that. And it just clicked. We go, that's what we should call our listeners.
Perfect.
The tier 1.
That's why we do it.
Because you guys are the best.
So, yeah, our listeners, all of you out there, if you're hearing our voices,
you're a tier 1.
You're a tier 1
That's right.
of the Ben and Woods program. So thank you for your support. We do appreciate that. And tier 1s and all 97.3 The Fan listeners are invited to join us at our watch party on March 20th, early on Wednesday morning, 3 a.m., for the Padres and Dodgers at 7 Mile Casino in Chula Vista.
Yeah, I can't wait, man. And I have a feeling that a lot of people are going to come because everyone's excited for the season.
This is kind of unprecedented. Have no idea what a 3 a.m. radio event is going to look like.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. It's going to be very, very interesting.
Very
interesting. But I'm excited for it.
All right, off you go. It is time to play a little Con Woods. All right, I see Tier 1 Ron on the line. Take on Woods is brought to you by Valvoline Instant Oil Change. It only takes 15 minutes, and you don't have to get out of your car. For directions and discounts, go to SoCalOilChange.com. That's SoCalOilChange.com. Ron, how you doing this morning?
Doing just fine, thank you.
All right, let's see if we can get you qualified for our grand prize drawing in March. It is a 2-night stay at the Fontainebleau, the new Fontainebleau Las Vegas Hotel. $150 dinner credit. You can book now your own rooms at FontainebleauLasVegas.com. Here are the categories to choose from today, Ron. We've got beach party, 5 answers. Things you'd find at the beach. Cities and states, 5 answers including either city or state. And You're Kidding Me. Those are 5 artists and song titles featuring the word kid or kids. What would you like to play against Woods today, Ron? Beach party, cities and states, or You're Kidding Me?
Let's go for cities and states.
Cities and states. Okay, again, we've got 5 answers, musical questions, including either city or state in each answer. You'll have 60 seconds to answer as many as you can. You can pass if you don't know one. Come back to it at the end if there's still time. First question is the 2-second song. You need to identify both the song title and the artist to score that point. You go first. Woods goes second. If you beat or tie him, we will put you into the drawing for Las Vegas. All right, Ron, are you ready to play?
I am ready.
All right, 60 seconds on the clock. Your time begins when Paul plays the music. The category, cities and states. Good luck, Ron. Let's take on Woods.
Paradise City, Guns N' Roses.
Correct. Jay-Z and Alicia Keys teamed up for which 2009 hit song about New York City?
I'm just going to guess New York State of Mind.
Incorrect. Which Starship song easily won a 2011 Rolling Stone poll as the worst song of all time?
Built this city on rock and roll.
Correct. Which 1992 Pearl Jam song first appeared on the soundtrack for the movie Singles?
Pass.
Which LA pop duo is best known for their 2011 hit Safe and Sound?
Pass.
Which 1992 Pearl Jam song first appeared on the soundtrack for the movie Singles?
No idea at all.
All right, any idea on the LA pop duo Safe and Sound 2011?
No idea. Let's go Hall & Oates.
That's all right. You got 2, though. You got We Built This City and Paradise City by Guns N' Roses. You were close. It's Empire State of Mind, not New York State of Mind for Jay-Z. State of Love and Trust is Pearl Jam. Woods is good on Pearl Jam. That's going to be one in his wheelhouse. Capital Cities is the name of the Safe and Sound group. All right, stay on the line, Ron. The score is 2 to beat for Woodsy today. He doesn't get the category. Makes it tougher for him, especially in a category like this. All right, Woods is back. Headphones on. Reset our 60 seconds. Reset our song. Woods, your time begins when Paul plays the music. Good luck. Let's take on Ron. It's
Paradise City, Guns N' Roses.
It is. Jay-Z and Alicia Keys teamed up for which 2009 hit song about New York City?
Empire State of Mind.
Correct. Which Starship song easily won a 2011 Rolling Stone poll as the worst song of all time?
We Built This City.
Correct. Which 1992 Pearl Jam song first appeared on the soundtrack for the movie Singles?
Well, there's two.
Well, which one fits the category? Maybe pass and come back to it.
Pass?
Which LA pop duo is best known for their 2011 hit Safe and Sound?
Oh, Capital Cities.
Correct. Which
Ugh.
1992 Pearl Jam song first appeared on the soundtrack for the movie Singles?
Well, it's either State of Love and
Correct.
Trust. Okay, thank you.
Cities and states.
Or Breath.
Breath would not have fit the category.
Correct.
That's why it's tougher for you. You don't know the
I don't know the category.
But only one of those fit cities and states. 5-2. Woodsy has won today's game of Take on Woods. Well done, Woods.
Capital Cities. Where are those guys?
Still making
Pizzas
revenue off Safe
somewhere.
and Sound.
Yeah, probably.
More like Crapital Cities.
So bad.
Not a fan.
Used to fight with our program director. Imagine that. Gautier, remember that song? He had one song.
Just somebody that I used to
Where's that
know.
guy working now? Pep Boys? He is not. Where is he? Where is he? I used to
See if he's on tour.
I'd say, dude, the song's fine, but do we have to play it?
That's not a bad song.
No, but do we have to play it every 30 minutes? Hey, it's Gautier again. Was how I would bring
I like
it
how
up.
angry she gets.
Yeah,
in that song.
The
I like
song's
that, yeah.
fine. It's fine. Every 30 minutes we played that song.
So really, your problem was with your program director, not with Gautier.
Right. I mean, the song was fine. It was like a good song, but every 30 minutes, that and then right into Safe and Sound. And I was like, man, I have the worst timing of. I'm in music, the music business, when the music is literally the worst.
All right, Don't Do This is coming up next. Actions have consequences. And unfortunately,
Yes.
some Chiefs fans apparently are finding out the consequences for their playoff actions and not taking the weather seriously.
Well, if only they would have known it was
That's
going to be
true.
freezing cold.
That is coming up next with Ben and Woods. We'll be right back after a check of traffic here on 97.3 The Fan. You can listen to Sam Levitt's podcast, Inside San Diego Baseball. Sam covering everything going on with the Padres at spring training. Find it at 97.3thefan, SD.com, the Odyssey app, or wherever you get your podcasts. And now for Take on Woods on a Friday, for Don't Do This on a Friday, here's the Take on Woods winner today.
Yes.
Woods.
Thank you very much, Ben. And we all remember the 2024 playoff game. Kansas City Chiefs hosting the Miami Dolphins.
Very cold.
Very, very cold. In fact, it was the fourth coldest game ever played in the NFL.
What was the wind chill?
It was minus 27 degrees.
Yeah.
The temperature was minus 4. With the wind chill, it was minus 27.
Remember, water freezes at 32 degrees.
Correct.
So below zero is well below the freezing point.
That is exactly right. And so we all knew it was cold. We knew it was going to be cold. Some Chiefs fans went out, and
I remember seeing like some crazy one, like taking their shirt off,
the shirts off,
doing everything.
So obviously there was thousands and thousands of people there, but 10 people were hospitalized for frostbite or hypothermia, and now some of the people that were hospitalized for frostbite require amputations. Now I'm not sure what, I'm not sure when, I'm not sure where. But they are going to require amputations based on taking their clothes off at a football game. Definitely something I think they probably regret now.
So when you say, I would give my left hand to see the Chiefs win this playoff game,
You might have to.
you might actually have to do that.
Which is just insane to me. And, you get a few Coors Lights in you and start running around and, you want to be the center of attention. You rip that shirt off, and it's minus 27 degrees, and bad things can happen. And listen, there's not been any mention of a lawsuit or anything like that. There's really no legal recourse they have against the NFL or the Chiefs. Like, everyone knew it was going to be butt cold out there that day. Everyone. You took your shirt off. Nobody else took your shirt off. And then
I don't know that it was the fans who took their shirt offs that are suffering. It looked from the pictures that I saw, a lot of fingers were. Like, if you weren't wearing gloves, like warm gloves, that could have been a problem.
There's a guy here in this picture, shirtless, wearing some camo overalls, and his body is red because it's almost frozen solid.
Because they're the Chiefs.
The Chiefs, yeah. So now they're going to have to amputate body parts. They're being advised to schedule amputations.
All right, ready. Rarely does just a straight bad sports performance rise to the level of don't do this, but I thought one yesterday actually stood out. The WCC tournament is being played right now in Las Vegas, and the University of Pacific laid their claim as at least worst college basketball team on the West Coast. They went winless in the conference this year, so they had to play in the very first game against Pepperdine, play-in game in the conference tournament. Now, Pepperdine isn't that good either. I think they won 12 games, like 12-19 this season. Very mediocre. Their coach, Lorenzo Romar, is not being brought back. University of Pacific fell behind in the game, Woods. 26-0, 39-2, and trailed 56-9 at halftime on their way to a 102-43 loss to Pepperdine to end their season yesterday. It's got to go down. I think it was like one of the 3 biggest defeats ever in conference tournament history. 26-0, 39-2.
Sounds like one of the Aztecs.
The Aztecs get off to slow starts as well. They usually fight back. I can see that. Tonight against Boise State, Aztecs down 39-2. Of course,
they'll come back.
They'll be within 1 in the second half at some point as they fight their way all the way back. But Pacific takes the cake for bottom of the barrel on the West Coast this season. That's just an awful performance.
All right, time for some do this, if you will.
DD mega doo-doo.
When our pal Skip Schumacher took over the Miami Marlins job, we had coffee with him that one day and asked him about a couple of the guys they have on the squad. And one guy he talked about was Jazz Chisholm. And he said, he's got all the tools to be the best baseball player. What I'm trying to get with Jazz is for him to know what it means to be a professional baseball player. Like, yes, it's important to worry about your brand. Yes, all that stuff's important. But you also have to be a good teammate. You have to be a good leader, et cetera, et cetera. So Skip is telling him, it looks like our pal Skip Schumacher has rubbed off on Jazz Chisholm, because here's the news that we saw out of Marlins camp yesterday. from an article. This is how serious Jazz is about not spending a day on the injured list. His daily McDonald's trips are over. Daily. He hired a chef, and it's about eating right. He even has a personal physical therapist, according to Schumacher. Chisholm spent part of his offseason with former big leaguer Matt Holliday and talked about the art of hitting. So, number one, congrats to Jazz for eliminating 7 McDonald's meals per week. I think that's going to do some good
So
for
he
him.
was actually a 6-tool player. His 6-tool being the McDonald's app.
Yeah. So I texted Skip this morning, and I said, that Jazz Mickey D story is hysterical. And I said, all right, answer this question for me honestly. When was the last time you, very handsome and built Skip Schumacher, ate McDonald's?
He has abs.
He's got it all.
Yeah.
He said, I'll crush a McFlurry with my kids and I'll mix in a fry, but a meal? Years. And I said, well, Jazz is on the right track. I mean, that's good. That's a good thing. It feels like an easy fix, too. Like, why have I been feeling sluggish and tired all year? Maybe I eliminate Big Macs, large fries, and a Coke 7 days a week.
My boys occasionally will like McDonald's, and I will get it for them, and I have the discipline. I do not order myself anything. I do steal a few fries, though.
Yeah, they're the best.
I mean, I can't not steal a few fries.
I mean, look, if that was health food, if that's what health food should taste like, is Mickey D's, because I would eat it every day. I love it. I mean, it's not a knock on Mickey D's.
But you can't, if you're a professional athlete, you should not be eating it every single day.
Well, if you're anyone, you
I was gonna
probably
say
shouldn't
anybody,
be
that's
eating
a good
it
point.
You should not
7
eat it
days a
every
week.
day, or
I do get my coffee, my iced coffee,
Yeah, we know.
at Mickey D's often.
Yeah.
And that's don't and do this for a Friday.
That was Don't Do This with Ben and Woods on 97.3 The Fan.
What's your favorite sandwich menu item?
I like a Big
at
Mac.
Mickey D's. Really?
Yeah, and I like the
QP with C.
I don't
quarter
like the
pounder with
quarter
cheese.
pounder.
You like a Big Mac better than a quarter pounder?
Yeah, it's got the sauce on there. It's yummy. Love the sauce.
No.
And the quarter pounder has the thicker onions. I don't like that. I like
Well, I like the
very
thicker
diced onions that you get on the cheeseburger. I like also the plain cheeseburger.
I like a plain cheeseburger too.
Save that.
I think we already have that one a few times.
Probably.
Actually.
It's a treat. Yeah, it's a treat every now
Double
and then.
cheeseburger.
Double cheeseburger is amazing. I've never had a fillet of fish. I've never eaten a chicken
I've
sandwich
never eaten
there.
a fillet of
Never.
fish either.
I never.
How did you
I-
gain all the weight?
Mickey
I
D's?
think I've had a chicken sandwich before.
I'm not at McDonald's. I'm not going to get a chicken sandwich there.
But they're
oh
not.
yeah, I've gotten a chicken
They
sandwich.
gonna
have
get one of
they
them.
have a new like McCrispy that's more of a like a Chick-fil-A style chicken sandwich. I have not tried that.
I do love a Big Mac, though. You don't like the Big Mac?
No. Too much bread, too much shredded lettuce.
True.
Not a huge sauce guy.
I love the sauce on there.
Yeah.
I'm not a big McDonald's fan in general. I mean, it's like probably number 4 on fast food
Oh my god,
chains.
it's up there for me. Top 2.
Put Wendy's above it. I put In-N-Out above it.
Wendy's-
In-N-Out, obviously.
Wendy's
It's
is
different. I mean, it's
not-
like apples and oranges.
Wendy's is really they've
Talking fast
I don't do
food
Wendy's.
chain places
Don't do
like that
Burger
with
King.
a
Don't
drive-through.
do Carl's Jr.
Wendy's is gone. It's the quality's gone a little down for me.
Like Jack in the Box.
Jack in the
Jack in
Box.
the Box is good.
The taco. I'll occasionally do
Yeah.
the 2 tacos.
All right, shut up.
Okay, fine. We will come back. Let's get back to our Padres discussion. We just laid out our opening day 9 for you. I want to hear what the Tier 1s have to say. 833-288-0973. Do we all agree? Is Jackson Merrill the starting center fielder? Who do you have in left on opening day? Who's your designated hitter, especially if it's not Manny? Let's say Manny's at third. Who's your DH for the San Diego Padres to open the season? Give us a call, 833-288-0973. More Ben and Woods coming up on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. Phone lines are open, 833-288-0973. Asking you who your starting nine is for the San Diego Padres as we get closer to the start of the season.
We should do our starting nine of fast food, too, at some point, because people go nuts.
The chat is going crazy
It's
right
going
now with all your
ham
fast
right now.
food favorites.
Yeah.
Everybody's got their own. I mean, to each their own, I understand. You have your favorite, you have your favorite.
I don't consider In-N-Out fast food. I think it's just a step above. You
That's
know
fair.
what I mean? I feel like it's fancy.
just because it's
Price-wise,
better,
it's fast food.
It's fast food. It's got a drive-through.
First of all,
the
it's
prices.
never fast. Never. It's never fast.
It's so good.
It's so good. It's a step above, in my opinion, like fast food. Because it's like fresh.
But it has every trait of a fast food restaurant.
It's supposed to be fast food, but it's not.
It's different, though, because most fast food restaurants have extensive menus, like
they
too extensive. And
Yeah.
In-N-Out has the smallest menu
And they don't microwave anything.
out there.
Like when you get a cheeseburger from Mickey D's, you're like, they just zapped this thing. I can feel it, I can taste it, and I'm into it.
Like there are Panda Express that have drive-throughs. Is that fast food? I would say yes.
It's a good question. I feel like that's more of a.
I think if it's a drive-through, it's fast food.
That's the prerequisite.
We have a Chipotle with a drive-through in Encinitas now. I never understood that. You pull up and you go,
I didn't know they
can I
had
get a
those."
little less sour cream?
Right,
No, can
more guac.
Yeah, can I have just a little bit of the green salsa
Taco
and
Bell,
then
not burgers, but that's fast food.
Oh, Taco Bell's fast food, 100%. 100%.
Got a drive-through.
got a lot of people going Arby's, Rallies. I mean, there's definite Five Guys. Five Guys is a little more pricey.
Arby's, by the way. When was the last time you ate Arby's?
I told you that story. I did the 5 for $5 in college. I made 3.5, and it came back out, and that was it.
Out of your vomit?
Vomited. Yeah.
You vomited
Yeah.
Arby's. Oh, that cannot be
It's probably been, I think
pleasurable.
it's the last time I went to Arby's.
Yeah, if you eat something and you vomit,
When I was on the 4th one. I didn't even get to the 5th one.
Why was there were you on? Somebody give you a bet?
I
Why'd
was
you
in
eat them all on the
college.
same day?
Seemed like it was a good deal. I was hungry.
You save them and then microwave them later. This dude tried to pile down 5 Arby's
They're
roast
not
beef
that
sandwiches.
big. They're pretty small. I mean, they were selling them for $1.
That
so.
meat, though, when you look at it, like when you're in college, like I don't care, I'll eat anything.
Right.
If you looked at it now, no. But the Arby's sauce is clutch.
Arby's probably been.
It's
It's been
probably-
high school. I'm 33, so like 18 years.
Yeah, I have Long John Silver's was one that I would eat once a year.
Can I admit
Never been
that
there.
it took an embarrassingly long time for me to understand why it was called Arby's.
Roast beef,
Roast beef,
RB.
roast beef.
Yeah.
Didn't know that. Just it must be
You
some
thought it was
guy
like
named
Fred Arby.
founded his restaurant and probably somewhere in the Midwest in 1942 and has
Arby's.
expanded throughout the United States. Mr. and Mrs. Arby running their mom and pop stand somewhere. No, RB.
Big
roast
fan
beef.
of Sonic
Oh,
drive-through.
Sonic's great. Uncle Teddy will tell you to go to Sonic. Delicious.
That's right. I forgot
Delicious.
about
Sonic may be the greatest marketing ploy of all time. Growing up in Washington, in Seattle at least specifically, they would show Sonic commercials like you wouldn't believe. Every
Bro, I'm from
commercial
Texas.
break.
There's one on every corner.
Every single commercial break, there was a Sonic commercial, but there wasn't a Sonic in the state of Washington.
That is so absurd.
They finally put one like in Spokane, which was like a 4-hour drive, but you kept getting all of the commercials in Western Washington. And when they finally did open one about an hour south of Seattle, for like 2 years, line around the building. You
couldn't get in.
because they had just marketed for 20 years almost in the city, like Sonic drive-through, and then they finally opened one, and it was never not completely slammed.
Yeah, I love it. That's we had to detour there.
All right, we got some callers on the line. Let's get out to the tier ones. 833-288-0973. Right after this check of traffic on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 97.3 The Fan Traffic Center, here's Kelly Danick.
Got a couple of problems here. 2-vehicle accident westbound King Freeway before the 125. Those vehicles are over the right shoulder. And got an overturned crash now on eastbound 8 before Los Coches. Vehicles in the center divide. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben and Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
All right, we're trying to fill out the bottom of the Padres starting lineup here. Let's go to Juan. Juan, welcome to Ben and Woods on 97.3 The Fan. Good morning to you.
Thank you. Good morning, guys.
Good morning, buddy.
Tier Juan from Chula Vista.
Juan.
speaking.
Yes, sir. I love that.
All right. I like my starting 9 is Tempe, of course, Crony, the usual suspects, right? But in left field, I'd love to see Marcy. out in left. I'd love to see Merrill in center.
Okay.
But there's also a wild card out there that hasn't been picked up yet. All-star, former Gold Glover, he had 21 home runs, and that's Michael Taylor. He's still available.
Yeah,
and,
he is.
I hope that the Padres do make a push for that guy. I think he'd be a good guy for us. What do you guys think?
I always, and I've seen that stat before that he hit 20-plus home runs, and I never think of him as a power guy. That would have ranked, what, 4th or 5th on the Padres last season?
Yeah.
I mean, they can use a 20-home run power potential guy. Now, will that play at Petco Park? Is a 20-home run guy at Petco Park more like a 12-home run
Like
guy?
a 6-home run guy.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen that happen before where the power just does not translate when it comes to San Diego. And if he doesn't bring you that power, he's a good defensive outfielder, but he doesn't get on base. He doesn't hit for average much. Is that going to be valuable enough? And are you knocking Jackson Merrill out of the position where he feels most comfortable in center field? Are you putting him back in left? Would you put Michael A. Taylor in left? Or you might as well just have Jurickson Profar out in left field. That's why I've kind of been lukewarm on Michael A. Taylor during spring training.
Yeah, I mean, the 21 home runs is nice, but again, he hit 220 with a 278 OBP. So, it's pretty paltry numbers. And again, there's been some center fielders. I was just reading this on MLB Trade Rumors. Comparatively with Kevin Kiermaier and Harrison Bader, they each signed one-year deals of 10-5 with the Blue Jays and the Mets, respectively. I don't want to pay $10 million. I don't have to, but the Padres shouldn't pay $10 million for Michael A. Taylor, in my opinion.
It's funny because there are other guys who you think would deserve good deals that are getting non-roster invites right now.
Yeah.
Pitching side, I saw Eric Lauer got a non-roster invite with the Pirates?
Yep.
Today. I mean, not that Eric Lauer's great, but I don't understand how the market really works. I mean, I understand it's supply and demand. If no one's getting an offer, they're going to accept less. If there's a bunch of teams that are making big offers, they're going to get more money. I do get that. But you look at two players and you go, yeah, they're somewhat equivalent. And one of them is accepting a non-roster invite to a spring training camp, and the other one's getting $16 million. And it kind of blows my mind the value that certain players are getting. I'm not kidding.
I have no idea. I mean, I have no idea. Harrison Bader signing for 10-5 after the year he had, and Michael A. Taylor still sitting out there doesn't make a hell of a lot of sense to me either. Can I blow your mind for a second?
Please.
We just got a tweet from Jeff. It says, guys, it's not called Arby's to mean RBs. Arby's stands for America's Roast Beef, Yes, Sir.
Nice.
So now
I knew
know.
there was roast beef in there.
Yeah,
RB.
Thank you, Jeff.
We've got, I think, Alex on the line. Alex, you're next up here on 97.3 The Fan. Good morning. Maybe it's not Alex. Who's this?
Hello?
You're on the air.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can
Sorry
hear
about
you.
that.
Yep.
Hey, guys. Hey, I love Jackson Merrill. We were out there at spring training. We actually ran into you guys on the first day, me and my son. We were the ones that were the Hotel Serene alums.
Oh
yeah.
yes! They stayed at Ben's beloved Hotel Serene, and it was a dump.
Yeah, it was awesome.
That's where he
it was
tried
a great,
to take us.
Great memory.
Yeah.
But hey, I don't want to derail the roster conversation, but there's been something bothering me all off season.
Shoot.
And I was hoping that you guys could indulge me for a bit. And that is, how are we going to keep the Dodgers fans out of Petco Park this season?
Dude, I don't think there's any stopping them this year. It's the feeling amongst their fan base, obviously, like they have every right to be elated and ecstatic about their team. You got the biggest international superstar in the world in Shohei Ohtani. You got Yamamoto. You got Glass now. Like, if you're, I hate saying this because people get mad at me when I say it, but if you're a season ticket holder, there's part of me that understands why you say, I don't want to go to that series because they're going to flood it. I can make 5 times what these tickets are worth because these clowns will pay it. I understand that part. I wish you wouldn't, but I am not going to tell you how to spend your money or make your money. That's none of my business, what you choose to do. I will say it is a bummer to look down, when you're watching a Dodger game, Padres game on TV at Petco Park, when you look down amongst the lower level that the camera picks up and you're like, oh my God, it's all blue. Knowing full well those are all season tickets and I'm not going to that series. I'll get stabbed at that series. They hate me there. I get hate mail delivered to my office here. Like, there's no way. But I can't tell you what to do with your tickets.
I take a little bit of a different view. You know,
you sit in the press box. You're fine.
Well,
They're not going to get you up there.
But I don't think it's necessarily a bad look when, there's opposing fans at your ballpark. First of all, the reason they're coming down, we know, is because they love our ballpark, because it's fantastic. We're putting on a great experience down here in San Diego to watch baseball. It's also not college basketball or football where the fans are, distracting the quarterback or influencing necessarily the officials.
No,
baseball,
but it sucks, though. It still sucks. I disagree with you that it's not a bad look. I think it's a terrible
And
look.
I also look at it as they're helping fund our team by coming down
fair
and
enough.
spending their money in our ballpark, money that hopefully can be reinvested in the San Diego Padres and continue to make the team better down here. So if they want to go to all that trouble and come down and make it, it's not like it's going to be 80% Dodgers fans.
This season could be.
I've seen games where it's kind of 50-50, but that's lively. That's a good atmosphere. It's not when like Raiders fans, 90% of them at a Chargers game in SoFi Stadium or even in Qualcomm sometimes. It's nothing like that. There's a lot of blue at those games. There's also a ton of brown and gold. There's a lot of Padres fans, and it's a lively atmosphere, and that's fun to watch a baseball game in a lively atmosphere with fans who care and are passionate about their team. I don't see it as just a negative. Yes, ideally, it's 100% Padres fans. It's like the playoff series, and everyone is pulling on the same rope, but that's not realistic for every game of every season. And if you end up with a really good atmosphere and everybody's cheering and passionate about their team and they're spending money in your ballpark and supporting your ultimately your organization.
Still sucks.
There could be worse things than that.
I don't know how.
I
know. Matthew says, I paid for 75% of my season tickets just by selling the Dodger series in 2022. Yeah, how do you say no to that, man? I fully get it. Look, when I was at Holy Cross in South Bend, where Rudy went, Nebraska came to town to play the Irish. And Nebraska fans were offering students like $4,000 for a game ticket, and you're a college student, and you go, done. It's done. I'm going to go to the bar, and I'll just watch a game. The entire place was red, and it made me sick to my stomach. Like, they came in, and they just bought up all the tickets, and it looked like ass on TV. It was a sea of red in South Bend, Indiana, and I believe they lost that game as well, and it really sucked, and I hated that. But, again, I can't tell you how you choose to make money, and it makes sense to me financially.
Can we agree that the last two seasons, probably the best two in terms of Padres crowds and enthusiasm and excitement at Petco Park? Last year, record attendance, 2022, the playoff run, all the excitement for the team. It hasn't been any better than it's been the last couple of years at Petco Park. Despite all that, in those two seasons, the Padres have just 3 or 4 games better winning record at home than on the road. There isn't a giant home field advantage in baseball. There really isn't. And most of that comes from the advantage of batting second.
Yeah.
Not because you're playing in front of your home crowds or you just know your ballpark better. It's mostly the strategic advantage of getting to bat second as opposed to first. So, essentially, there isn't really a home field advantage in baseball at all.
And there's a couple of Facebook sites and Twitter groups that are, hey, you can, for Padres fans to sell to Padres fans. If you want to sell your tickets, I don't know that Padres fans are going to pay 5 times, what the Dodgers fans will pay. They take great pride in filling our stadium. They do. And that kind of bums me out, certainly. I guess they're planning, somebody said in the chat, planning a big takeover for May. It's like, oh, boy. I mean, and I hear that, and my natural inclination is to say, I'm out. I'm not going. So how can I tell somebody that they can't sell their tickets and that they should go when I'm not planning on going? That's how I feel. I disagree that it's not a bad look. I think it is a bad look. I think it sucks, actually. Tony had a good idea. He said, just close the freeway. All right, it's a good idea. Keep them out. Yeah, go sit down with Gen Pop. And then make your decision as you sit up in your ivory tower.
You have to compare apples to apples, not apples to oranges. San Diego has, a couple of million people. The greater Los Angeles area has like 20 million people. So really every Padres fan that's at the game, that's worth 10 Dodgers fans.
Yeah.
At every game. So if there's 60% Padres fans and 40% Dodgers fans, it's really multiply that by 10 because you're pulling from a much smaller fan base and area because of San Diego.
I get it.
I get it.
And
You're not wrong.
In an ideal world, yes, every time the Dodgers played at Petco Park against the Padres, you would like to see it 98% brown and gold. But have you ever been to a Padres-Dodgers game on a Friday night, beer fest before the game?
The answer is no, and I never would.
It is chaos.
Chaos.
There are fights everywhere, people talking it's not fun.
It's a
and
nightmare.
if you choose to not go to those games, I get it 100%.
Yeah, I do too.
But when they win, it's so great to be there.
It's so great.
It's
But,
so fun.
I mean,
Is it extra sweet because it's against the Dodgers?
yeah, it was.
It can be just incredible, those moments. All right, we are halfway home here on a Friday morning. Coming up in the second half of Ben and Woods Tier 1 Tour, we've got Eno Sarris joining us for the first time this year. He is in Arizona. He had a Airbnb nightmare. He's also, observing firsthand.
Maybe Adam can get him reimbursed.
Some of the cactus layout. That's true. He's done it before. Reindl Report will get you to 10 o'clock. Annie and Elston. Coming up, it is Ben and Woods on a Friday. Do not go anywhere. More on the way on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
All right, we're halfway home on a Friday. Thanks so much for being here, Ben and Woods, 97.3 The Fan. I'm Woodsy. That's Paul Reindl, the executive producer. Ben Higgins, your friendly neighborhood sports anchor, joins us as well. And if you do like watch parties out there, please come join us at 7 Mile Casino early on Wednesday, March 20th, to watch the Padres game with us. It's going to be me and Ben and Paulie there. Adam's going to be there. Adam's talking about pulling like an all-nighter. He really likes poker, which I did not know about him.
I was surprised. He was
like,
I'm not going to be able to get up from that Texas Hold'em table. And I
was
go,
like,
Adam,
what?
I had no idea.
I go, I will be asleep by, I'll say 7, but maybe 6:30. Like,
Yeah.
I will be asleep by, in bed by 6 p.m. He goes, really? I'm like, yes.
Yeah, dude. I mean, we have to do a show, so you have to be rested and all that.
I'm pretty sure he's coming back to the studio after the game and running the board for
he's
our
gonna
show.
fall asleep.
We're going to be like, all right, let's get a check of traffic from
Adam.
Danik.
Adam. Now, we thought we had it bad. Sammy Levitt's doing a pregame show at 2:05 a.m. I guess he'll do that from here. But it wouldn't surprise me to see Sammy make an appearance down at the 7 Mile Casino. Sammy is a mensch, dude. He will absolutely do it. So, yeah, we're going to be down there hanging out. Love to see you guys. They're going to have a menu. You can get food. Yeah, we're going to be back on the back patio. They're going to roll some TVs out. We're going to have fun. We get to watch a game together, which is good.
Adam was there yesterday doing some site checks, and he had lunch, and you saw what he ordered, right?
Yeah, he ordered the Kung Pao.
The Kung Pao chicken, and he said it was excellent. I love when I give a good recommendation to someone.
You really do.
It's like 3 times this week.
That's 3 times this week.
I know. I'm on fire right now. All right, so, the watch party is on for Wednesday, March 20th, very early, Wednesday, March 20th. So you missed yesterday our discussion, Woods, about whether you are more or less confident in the Padres than you were at the start of spring training.
Okay.
Simply from February 11th, when the Padres pitchers and catchers reported, to today, 1 month later, 4 weeks later, essentially. Are you more, the same, or less confident based on what you've seen from this team, what you've heard from Mike Schilt, and how things are lining up? I kind of went position by position, but just give me your overall answer. Same, more, or less confident in the Padres than you were 1 month ago?
I would say slightly less.
Less?
Yeah, slightly less. Now, listen, I think Mike Schilt has done a great job. I think Mike Schilt is saying all the right things right now. We have not seen Mike Schilt manage one single solitary real game for the San Diego Padres. And I love his attitude. I love where his head's at. It was great talking to him. I love his philosophies. I think he's a hard ass. I think he is I think he's the right man for the job, certainly. But you can only do so much with what you have. And I thought at the beginning of spring training, and I thought a couple of months ago, this team was going to be a little more active in getting some.
So you thought there was
agents.
going to be, by now, another move or two.
Sure.
And because there hasn't been one, you've actually lost a little bit of confidence.
A little bit, and it's not anything against Matt Waldron or Michael King or anything like that. I love what I've seen from those guys, and I love those guys. They're awesome dudes, but this is big league talent you're going up against, and I legitimately thought every team goes into the spring saying we've got some places we could upgrade. We had holes, just holes. And to only add what we've added is a little bit tough for me to get.
A couple relief pitchers.
Well, I baked that in because I felt like I wasn't all that confident a month ago because of some of those holes, and they still exist. But the reason I said I was a little more confident is because of what I've observed so far. One of my biggest concerns are Musgrove and Darvish going to be healthy. Looks like they're going to be ready to go for the season. Michael King has really looked like he's going to be a solid middle of the rotation guy.
Big fan.
I don't know who the back of the rotation is, but I've seen enough from Waldron and Brito and some of the other guys that I'm not panicked that it's just going to be 3 and then a disaster after that the rest of the way. Padres are going to throw some arms out there that are going to get some outs. And then what I've really been encouraged by, in particular lineup-wise, 3 guys. Luis Camposano, Jake Cronenworth, and Jackson Merrill. All, I thought, big question marks going into the season. And while I'm not predicting MVP years for any of them by any stretch of the imagination, what I've seen in the last 4 months tells me I think each of those guys could have a productive major league season for the Padres. And if they do, that'll be a nice upgrade at 3 different positions from last year, where the Padres really didn't get a lot of production behind the plate until, obviously Gary Sanchez arrived and hit a bunch of homers. But behind the plate, first base, and center field, if you can just get modest gains from those 3, that can make a real difference for this team this year.
There's just too many things it feels like that have to break right. And top of that list is Joe Musgrove, Yu Darvish staying healthy and being effective. I'm not really worried about either of them. They both seem to be very healthy. I'm not really worried about Michael King. I'm worried about the 4. I'm worried about the 5. I'm worried about the closer. I'm worried about the left fielder. I'm worried about production at first. I'm worried about Xander Bogaerts.
I said the same. I said the same.
I'm worried about Manny Machado. There's a lot of uncertainties with this team. So I would say, again, probably.
But again, we knew about a lot of that a month ago.
Right, but I thought they would be addressed. Hence my confidence waning a little bit. Now, it doesn't dull my excitement at all. Like, I'm elated and excited, and I like the youth movement situation. I do. We've seen it work for other teams, and it's high time that it works here in San Diego. It just hasn't worked here in San Diego under AJ Preller's leadership yet. Every guy that was coming up was traded away. The guys that the first run were all terrible. Hedges and Margot and all those guys, Hunter Renfroe, they didn't do anything here. And so kind of makes it tough. The next crop was not great. So it's a big ask for all of these guys, the Marcys, the Paulies, the Merrills, to come in and contribute at the big league level 1 year. So yeah, I'm worried about it.
I think one of the toughest things I would imagine as a general manager is to decide what you need to react on spring training and what you don't. If you see bad performances, do you immediately have to go out and overspend to get someone else? And while the Padres obviously have not overreacted or reacted at all to what they've seen in the spring yet, I look at a team like the Yankees. Carlos Rodon has struggled. Velocity is down. He's given up some runs for the Yankees. It's got to be a concern. Do you run out then and sign a Blake Snell because the guy who you were counting on to be one of your top starters doesn't look like you thought he'd look? Or do you have to be patient and go, we signed this guy. We think he's going to still be good.
You have no choice but to run him out there every day.
You don't.
Every 5th day.
But you do have a choice of whether you want to go out and add someone else who would be very expensive.
You don't add Blake Snell for Carlos Rodon. You add Blake Snell to add to your rotation because he's a good pitcher and he just won a Cy Young.
But it might bump Carlos Rodon down a little bit,
which may be good.
Improve your starting rotation.
Yeah, anytime if you have a starting rotation in baseball and you add Blake Snell to it, it just got better.
So is that where the Padres can still improve? Maybe in the pitching staff by adding a Michael Lorenzen or someone, just bumping everyone down and giving one more option, or adding one more outfielder that gives you one more option that just makes your roster overall that much better.
Well, and again, if Marcy and Paulie and those guys are the real deal, what is one more year in the minors of tearing the cover off the ball? It's not going to hurt their development at all. It can only help, in my opinion. So it's better than bringing them up too early. But I think, I look at Jackson Merrill and just the combos that we've had with other players about him and stuff, and the way he goes about his business. I think he's your center fielder on opening day, and I'm more than fine with that. I'm excited about that. I'm excited to see him play. He's probably going to be my son's favorite player in about 2 weeks. He's just a cool kid. He's got a lot of talent. He's very athletic. He's bat to ball guy.
Hi, this is Jackson Merrill.
Hi, Jackson. So yeah, man. But to work in 3 unproven guys, that haven't really been above Double-A very much, that's kind of a big ask. So
I think I said sometime early in the spring, I'm okay if you're very confident in one of those guys.
Yes.
In starting them to start the season. But if you're counting on multiple rookies as everyday players, you are setting yourself up for some bad news. There's very few teams, playoff contenders that rely on multiple rookies to start 150 plus games in the field every single year. You really want to limit that. You need veteran options. So, ultimately, whether it's Profar or it's someone who's not on the team right now, I can't see Jackson Merrill and Jacob Marcy being your starting outfield alongside Fernando Tatis Jr.
Yeah, for sure. I don't either.
That's a lot to ask of two very young players.
Strategy.
Yeah, very bold strategy. Now, listen, bold strategies sometimes pay off, and if you're really not going to add anybody in the next, I mean, the other thing too is now when is the point where adding somebody when it's too late?
That's good. I was going to ask that earlier.
When is the?
I mean, if you added a pitcher right now,
I thought it was a week ago.
They certainly wouldn't be ready for Korea if you added a pitcher right now.
Correct.
Maybe for opening day, or if you're like adding a fifth starter for 5 days after opening day, you could sort of consider that. But yeah, every day you go, you're signing someone who is then not going to really be available for you. Even at some point in the next few days, if they leave for Korea, you can't just sign someone next week and probably put them on a plane for Korea and expect them to play in 2 games for you. With no spring training, no chance to acclimate to a coaching staff or teammates, hey, we're going to put you coach on a flight to Seoul. Hop on for wherever you are right now. Meet us in Seoul, South Korea.
Yeah,
we've got you on our opening day lineup.
Grab a bat. Hope you've been working out. I don't know.
It's going to be too late here.
Yeah.
It may already be too late to add someone and expect them to contribute, at least in those 2 games in Korea.
This is a great tweet from our buddy Mensray. Tweeted it earlier this week. He said the average win total for the last 11 World Series champions was 96.6 wins. So call it 97 wins. So the whole squeak into the playoffs and go on a magical run like the D-backs did is kind of stupid. Even those dip-asses didn't win it. And it makes a good point. It's also a bit of a sobering point. When you look at it and go, well, I mean, if you get there, you never know what can happen. That's absolutely true. But you brought up earlier, we were talking about that tweet, Ben, off the air.
The last 2 runner-ups were wild card teams.
Yeah, for sure, which is, again...
82, 84 wins.
I see the goal is not to be the runner-up, though, at the World Series.
Right.
It's to win the World Series.
But you brought up the Phillies. And I thought last year, after watching the Phillies in the first couple series, I'm like, that's who's winning the World Series, period. There was no hotter, more clutch team than the Phillies, and then, done. Stopped. Over. Nobody can hit.
The Rangers won 90 games and didn't win their division, or a tiebreaker, they lost their division. I mean, 90 is a reasonable number right there.
90 is reasonable, but we're projected for 72 or something.
No, 81.
Oh, is it 81?
81.3, I think, the last time I saw. Yeah.
All right, that's 9 more wins.
Yeah. I mean, you got to find 9 more wins.
Yeah.
Padres found 9 losses last year from what they were projected.
Easily.
From 91 or 92 down to 82. It's possible to find 9 wins as well if you win on the margins and the close games.
So was your answer that you're more confident than you were?
A little bit more than I was at the start of spring training.
And I don't like being a negative Nelly. I don't. I like to be a positive cheerleader here on the flagship.
Nothing really has swayed me one way or the other. I kind of thought if I had to put money on how I think the NL West plays out, I think heading into spring training, the Padres are probably going to finish in 4th place.
Yeah.
And I still feel that way right now.
I mean,
maybe they could jump the Giants, but the Giants improved. You have the National League champion Diamondbacks and then the juggernaut Dodgers. So.
And I made the point yesterday as well that if you want to make the playoffs, it's probably going to be the Braves and the Phillies in the East. I don't see either of those teams missing the playoffs. The NL Central winner, obviously. I don't know that the second-place team is a huge wild card contender. They might be. That leaves potentially 3 playoff teams in the National League West. The Dodgers are almost certainly going to be one of them and win the division. But you have to finish ahead of the Giants or Diamondbacks if you want to make the playoffs.
100%.
You're not making it at 4th place. I mean, theoretically, it's possible. You could have 4 teams in one division make the playoffs if they get all the wild cards, but it's unrealistic. So to have a chance at the playoffs, you must finish ahead of either the Giants or the Diamondbacks.
Yep.
And if you can't do that, you're not going to have a successful season. Can the Padres do that? I think they can. The Giants won 79 games last year. They have made some nice additions.
As it stands right now with this roster, you think you can overtake those 2 teams? I think that's optimistic, which you are. You're an optimistic guy, but I'm trying to be a little bit more.
But you won more games than the Giants last year.
Yeah,
now,
but
obviously
your team got markedly worse.
They've done more.
They got better.
We got worse. They got better. We lost 700 or something innings from our starting rotation.
This is going to infuriate you. The Padres outscored the Giants by 150 runs last year.
Who cares?
Well, yes, that was a 3-game difference in the standings. And
what does that mean for this year?
Well, I mean, you just compared it to last year, though. You said you got worse or they got better.
Yeah.
But are you going
for
from
this year?
That's for this year.
I know, but are you going from 82 wins and 79 wins, or are you going from what the standings really should have been, which was 93 wins for the Padres and 76 for the Giants?
You can't say they should have been that based on
That's exactly what expected win-loss is.
But
though.
are you basing it on run differential?
Yes, that's how they base it.
Then they would win 12-1 and then lose 3-0.
Right,
which is a good run differential.
You can't do that this year. That's what I'm saying.
That's what I'm saying.
You're going to have to win some close games this year to be where you want to be.
And your roster is worse than it was, objectively.
But the Giants have to improve quite a bit to get to the level where the Padres were. I'm not saying
I totally get it.
They were a 76-win team that squeezed out a couple of extra wins. The Padres were a 93-win team that squeezed out 11 extra losses last year somehow.
I totally understand. I totally understand what you're saying. But when you bring up run differential in a year where you either blew out people, and I mean blowouts, 12-1, 13-2. That's a 13-2 win. Hey, we plus 11 runs, but then you lose the next day 3-0, then 2-1. They were so inconsistent.
If the Padres go 9-23 in one-run games and 2-12 in extra inning games, this year is hopeless.
It's hopeless.
It's absolutely hopeless. We can all agree on that. There's no way there's enough talent. Last year, they actually almost overcame it. They missed the playoffs by two games despite that. If that happens again this year, Padres are a team with a losing record and might be challenging the Rockies for last place.
100%.
If they do that this year.
Yeah.
We're expecting that hopefully that will turn around with a new season, hit better with runners in scoring position like you have in previous years, new manager, whatever.
But you're also expecting Michael King, Johnny Brito, and Randy Vasquez to eat up the same amount of innings as Blake Snell, who threw 180.
Seth Lugo.
I'm expecting Michael King, Johnny Brito, Randy Vasquez, Matt Waldron, Pedro Avila, Robbie Snelling, Jairo Iriarte, and Drew Thorpe to eat the innings that Blake Snell and Michael Wacha and Seth Lugo had last year. I've got like 8 or 9 guys that I'm hoping can make up for the 3 guys that you lost.
And like 4 of those guys have never pitched in the big leagues.
Yeah, they're gonna have to do something at some point this year. If the Padres are going to be good, they're going to have to get some pitching production from some of those young guys who are coming up.
Real quick before we go to break, can we make a rule on the show from this point forward that if Ben brings up run differential, he has to play jelly bean roulette?
He has to eat a bean. Can't bring it up at all.
I can't bring it up at all.
No.
Even though it's
been proven that it does not matter.
It's been proven that it absolutely does.
It
that
does
is
not.
you're gaslighting people.
Turning off.
Let's take a break.
It means nothing.
It absolutely is the most. You can't. It's,
what was our run differential?
Mike Shields said it at dinner. He said it's really the most telling stat you can have in baseball is run differential.
What was our run differential?
Of course, there are outliers.
Plus what?
It was plus 105 last year.
We must have been really good.
There are outliers, of course, but there's no stat that is more correlates to wins and losses in baseball than run differential. If you could guarantee me one thing this year, and all I could say other than wins and losses, and I could pick one stat, I'd say I want the Padres to have a good run differential this year.
We had one last year. How'd that go?
Not good. Not good. There are always outliers. But the graph is as clear as crystal on how important run differential is.
I mean, clearly it's important. Clearly.
It is.
We must have made the playoffs with a plus 115.
All right, we'll talk about a team that had a run differential last year.
Eat a bean.
Eat a bean!
Last year's run differential was...
His belly's going to be full of dirty fish beans.
Well, let me see what it was. It was bad. It was negative 339 last year. In our Tier 1 tour coming up next.
God dang,
after a check of traffic on 97.3 The Fan.
Oh, my Lord.
You missed a fun Tier 1 Tour segment yesterday. We had Blummer on
to
talk about the Houston Astros. It was always good catching up with Jeff Blum.
What does he think about the Astros?
He's a good company guy. He's positive about the Joe Espada change
aren't we
manager.
Aren't we all?
That's true.
Yeah.
But he did say they'll miss Dusty. Loves Dusty, and that was obviously going to be a big change for that team.
About how they're the prototype of homegrown talent mixed in with your superstars,
but they had to lose 100 games 3 years in a row to get there,
right.
Which no one really wants to go through that level of pain.
It takes being very smart and picking the right guys in the draft, but then you also have to get extremely lucky and
developing them and everything.
One
else.
story that he told, because I asked him about Josh Hader, and kind of surprised everybody because they already had a good closer, and they went out and spent money on Hader, and they said they wanted to add some depth to the bullpen. And when they went to ownership and they were talking about it, the owner said, "Well, who's the best bullpen guy available?" Yeah. And they said, "Well, I guess it's Josh Hader. He's out there." I mean, we weren't really looking for a closer. Right. He says, let's just go get the best bullpen guy available if we're trying to upgrade our bullpen. So they did, and they went and signed Josh Hader to add to Ryan Presley and give him a better bullpen for this season.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to be pretty happy with that as long as he gets a nice, clean opportunity to work a three-out save and be good.
Now, they're on a different kind of spectrum than today's Tier 1 Tour team. The Oakland Athletics, who, as I just mentioned, coming off a not great season, 50 wins, 112 losses, and that aforementioned negative 339 run differential. They gave up 924 runs last year, more than all but the Colorado Rockies. But then they scored 200 runs less than the Rockies did as well. So
wow,
it was a brutal season. Yet when I look at their roster, it doesn't scream to me this is like the worst team ever. They do have some young, interesting players like Zach Geloff.
And Ryan Noda is stud. He's going to be a stud. And Brent Rooker, former Padre great, projected to hit 27 bombs this year. Love Brent Rooker. Would love. I mean, he in left field would be a decent spot.
Got some cast-offs, obviously, that they're trying to get into their, fill out the bottom of their lineup. Esteury Ruiz, the former Padre, is back in center field. Pitching staff is fairly anonymous. They did add Alex Wood as a free agent, and Ross Stripling is there. I don't even like Paul Blackburn and Joe Boyle.
I've never heard of Joe Boyle.
Yeah, I mean that was the problem last year, was giving up too many runs, and looks like it's going to be the issue for the A's again this season. But really, when you talk about the A's, it's more about just the status of their franchise, playing in Oakland, yet already having announced to move to Las Vegas, not even knowing where they're going to play beyond this season with the lease at the Coliseum expiring, and trying to figure out if they're going to move to Sacramento, Salt Lake City, suburban Vegas, or try to stay somewhere in Oakland so they can continue to get their TV money from their deal, which expires if they leave town. And my guess is that, knowing that he's going to claim that TV money if he stays, they will like find a high school field to play out in Oakland 100%. If they have to, just so he can keep that TV money for another 3 years until they build that ballpark in Las Vegas.
Got to be a tough scene for, honestly, 3 of my favorite guests that we've ever had on this program. Jessica Kleinschmidt, who I love, sweet angel. Jenny Kavnar, who I love, sweet angel. And Dallas Braden, who I love, sweet angel.
I'll give you 2 more. We've had Casey Pratt on a couple of times.
Fantastic.
Just covering the hell out of the fans' point of view from everything going on up there. And who lives right there in the Bay and goes to a lot of A's games?
Eno Sarris.
Our next guest, Eno Sarris.
I'll give you one more. Mark Kotze.
Who I love.
As well. Who's the manager of that team and deserves better.
Like, you couldn't have a better group of people, and they have to sit there on that sinking ship and go, no, everything's cool, everything's fine. Like, what does their flagship radio station say? That's what I'd like to start listening to their flagship.
I mean, if I'm the TV partner and the radio partner, I'm hoping they leave, because
you don't want to pay.
I mean, I don't want to pay anymore for this team. With they're not
they've announced their intention,
serving their fans anymore. So why would fans dedicate themselves to watching all the broadcasts and supporting all the sponsors when they know their team's leaving town? It's a bad situation for the Oakland A's. It's going to be tough. They're going to have, 2,000 fans at some games this year. It's going to be It's going to be a rough season.
It is going to be tough.
And maybe like a rough 3 or 4 seasons.
Yeah. Boy, I'll be there, though, when they go to Vegas. I want to see what that scene looks like.
All right. Our man in the Bay Area is currently in Arizona for the Cactus League. Airbnb nightmare. He'll share his story for us coming up next and give you his thoughts on what he's seen at spring training. Eno Sarris of The Athletic joins us when we come back with Ben and Woods on a Friday on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. Tier 1s know we've had our share of adventures and accommodations in Arizona over the years.
I almost
spring
expect
training
it now.
And fantasy camp, whether it's hotels or Airbnbs. We've had some hits. We've also had some big-time misses. Our next guest seems to have tried to outdo us in terms of Airbnb nightmare. We'll get the story and some spring training thoughts from Eno Sarris right after this check of traffic on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 97.3 The Fan Traffic Center, here's Kelly Danick.
Traffic is sponsored by Valvoline Instant Drive-Thru Oil Change. 15-minute instant drive-thru oil change. Got an overturned crash in the East County, eastbound 8 before Los Coaches. It's in the center divide, causing slowing on both sides of the 8. Watch out for some debris reported in the slow lane, northbound side of the 805 before the 163. And on the coastline, southbound 5 before Manchester. A couple vehicles involved in the crash there over to the right shoulder. Valvoline Instant Oil Change is your drive-thru oil change. It only takes 15 minutes, and you don't have to get out of your car. With all the rain lately, Valvoline is also offering replacement wiper blades. For directions and discounts, go to SoCalOilChange.com, SoCalOilChange.com. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben & Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
So after seeing his post, I think my first question for Eno Sarris of The Athletic is going to be, what's your stair count this week, Eno?
This is unbelievable. Eno, this is absolutely incredible. I saw this tweet the other day. Let me read it for the
go
audience.
ahead, yeah.
All right, so Eno tweets a couple days ago. My high-rise Airbnb apartment in Arizona features 1, a sofa bed as the only bed. 2, the pervasive smell of meat. 3, Wi-Fi that took 2 days to get the right password. And 4, non-functioning elevators. I'm on the 11th floor. We've had some bangers out in Arizona. We had poop curtains. We were 40 miles from the complex one time.
Poop curtains?
Yeah, there was doo-doo on my
very
curtains.
brown
in there.
stains. I mean, we never tested them officially.
I think it was doo-doo.
What the brown stains were on the curtains, but
then this year was so epic. We drive 6 hours. We're exhausted. It's 8:30, 9 o'clock at night. We get to our Airbnb, we walk in, and everything is in a pile on the floor. The cleaning people never came and washed the sheets and put them back on. So we went to a hotel, and I said, this is the worst that it can get. And then I saw your tweet. This is unreal. This is unbelievable. Are you still there?
I am. Airbnb comped me.
They
so
did?
I
Okay.
don't feel terrible about it. But the meat thing is the funniest because
it's the 11th
every
floor.
day... I know, and like I come home, especially if I've come home and I've had some drinks with some people, and it's the end of the night, and then I'm like, it's like bulgogi or like or like cheesesteak. Like somebody on my floor or like next door to me just loves cooking meat in these tiny little studios with no hood.
Just
right?
lamb,
no hood.
the smell of charred lamb wafting
Yeah,
through
exactly.
the
souvlaki. What are we going with today?
It's not terrible, but it's not what you want
It's nauseating,
when you're
man.
trying to go to sleep.
Just meat. It's a meat factory that I'm in. The stairs is
Yeah,
what's
I know,
getting me.
yeah.
11 floors, like 11 flights of
I've
stairs.
made all of my move goals. It's actually 12 because there's a mezzanine. So yeah, I've made all my move goals. My watch is very happy with me.
Just driving up to the place, you have to like psych yourself. You're like,
Well, you got luggage too.
you
The
got
first
luggage.
time.
Oh my god.
Well, see, a lot of people were like, well, Airbnb is Airbnb problem. You should have taken down a hotel. Well, I don't know, man. Last year I had the worst hotel ever in Florida. My door only had one working pair of hinges. So I had to open it, like I had to pick it up off the ground and put my shoulder into it to open it. The floor was sticky, and the air conditioner was stuck at 61 with no blanket.
Oh my god.
So I woke up in the middle of the night freezing and just had to put all my clothes on.
I can't complain about ours. Ours have not been that bad compared to this.
I'm like, hotels can be I got bed bugs one time in Arizona.
Oh, dude, I'm never going to complain again, I promise. 'Cause
All right, so
yours is way worse. So you're in Arizona now.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
I'm in Arizona now.
where have you gone? What have you seen? Give us your kind of your
Well,
overall
I did go
rundown.
to Padres camp.
Okay.
And I have to say the sphincters, they are tight there. And it's not necessarily about the season or the roster or anything. It's because they have to get out quicker than everybody else.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
so, like, everybody's job is harder. Like, spring training, you have, like, the Tops guys come in. They're like, we want some pictures for some cards. Then the MLB The Show guys come in and be like, we need to do some stuff for the MLB The Show. Can you get me these guys? Then MLB Network comes in and is like, we need to do a couple commercials with you guys, you know? And so, you know, over the course of a full, 6-week spring, you dot those through and it's not a big deal. They have like a 3 or 4 week spring, you know? And so basically every day there's some sort of photo shoot, there's some sort of thing. And then with Matsui there's like a lot more media than usual. Although I guess that was sort of happening with Yu Darvish too. So now they're like setting up press conferences every time Matsui throws or Yu Darvish throws. So it's just like really hectic and everyone's like pretty stressed out. So, hopefully they work things out in the next like week before they have to get out of there.
Well, conversely, the team across town, the team that we're going to be playing in Korea, has, I would argue, the same more with Shohei Ohtani being there, with Yamamoto being there, way more. Why do I feel like it's not going to bother them and they're going to come charging out of the gates? But why do I feel like Ben and I will be like, well, it's fine. They had a long trip and all the meat. Like there's built-in excuses already.
Too much bulgogi while they were in Korea.
Like I feel like the Dodgers aren't going to have any problem with any of this. I don't know why. Probably because they're stacked.
Well, actually, this 2-game series I think will end up being a reliever fest. For both teams. And I think that, that's not going to be terrible. The one thing that I think, Preller and company did pretty well is that I think the bullpen's pretty nice.
Yeah, us too. We are in agreement on that.
So, if you only need to get 2 innings out of Musgrove, he's such a champion, such a veteran. Like, I think he'll be fine. And then, you're just asking him for 2 good innings.
With the Padres, obviously, it's figuring out how to replace the starting pitching innings that they're losing in Blake Snell and Michael Wacha and Seth Lugo. And we've seen some excitement and some promising things. Michael King's really looked good. I know he rates very well in your pitcher ranks and your stuff projections, Eno, but what are you kind of thinking about the Padres back end of the rotation race?
I mean, I think it's healthier than it's ever been. There's more guys there. There's more guys I like. There's more depth. With Thorpe and Snelling coming up, like there's some young guys that are, I think, right on the cusp that can contribute too. So I like this depth package more than previous years. My favorite might be Johnny Brito. Him and Randy Vasquez, I think, are both just really competent guys that are going to be in the rotation, going to be like 3-4, 4-5, however it shakes out with injuries and stuff. But Vasquez has like 5 average pitches and decent command, right? So he's a major league pitcher. Brito has the sinker and the curve are better pitches than any of the pitches that Vasquez throws. And so I think he has a little more upside in terms of, building a package around that sinker and that curve that might be slightly better. But I like them both, and I think they're both, you need innings. You need credible starting innings, and I think that's what they represent.
Talking to our pal Eno Sarris here on Ben and Woods this morning, and I've got to get your take. It's been a while since we've talked to you. What in the world is happening in free agency right now with Blake Snell still being out of a job? There's some good players, man, that are still out there looking for a home. And, of course, as a fan of a team that happens to need one of each of the guys that is sitting out there, the Padres haven't made any moves, but it's not uncommon. Nobody's made anything. Are you hearing anything about this lack of movement with these last few guys?
I think it has a lot to do with who they are specifically. The reason why you saw Bellinger and Chapman, they were holdouts that were there with Snell, and you saw the kind of deals they signed. They didn't sign the 6-year, $200 million deals, that maybe they were asking for. They signed high value short deals to try and get back out there. So that says to me one thing. It says their candidacy as a free agent was a little bit flawed. There was something there. With Chapman, he was really good for 2 months and he really fell off. There's an injury. He's kind of a little bit closer to glove first, but I think the Giants got a good deal on that. And with Bellinger, he just doesn't hit the ball hard anymore. Ever since his shoulder injury, his exit velocities have really cratered. So that's partly to do with the players. The other half that Boris was really hitting home when we saw him at the Chapman press release is just that there are like 8 or 9 teams that have these uncertain TV deals, and that are really kind of trying to cut payroll. And so there's teams that would normally be at the trough that be one of the ones that might sign the big deal that aren't there. And then I don't know, with Snell, I think it's a convergence of all of them, you know. But I kind of think he'll sign something that like 3 and 100, where he can opt out after a year or two.
Talking to Eno. Sorry.
Yeah, because I just think that for him, the obvious question is innings.
Talking to Eno Sarris from The Athletic with us here on Ben and Woods. And Eno, what other camps have you visited? Who have you talked to? Kind of paint the picture for us this week for your visit in Arizona.
Yeah, I also went to Royals camp because they've got some interesting young hitters that hit the ball hard. And so I wanted to talk to them about sort of turning the ability to hit the ball hard into game power, turning raw power into game power, sort of a interesting conversation I had with their young hitters. For all the flaws that the Royals have, they're turning out decent young hitters. They just need to be able to turn out some pitchers, and maybe they'll be in business. Who else did I visited Giants camp and talked to Jung-Hoo Lee about translating his power, his raw power in Korea. He hit a ball like the best he ever hit a ball was 107. He comes here in spring training, hits the ball 110. So I talked to him a little bit about preparing for, translating his power, if he prepared, to improve his power over the offseason. He talked about really training for velo. And there is a little bit of a component of velo coming in because the average fastball in Korea is like 90, and here it's like 94. So that was an interesting thing. But just generally, I'm fascinated by, a lot of the teams have said, and even the Padres have done this, where it's like they've set it up so that they have veterans across their team. A lot of those veterans have the ability to play different positions. And so where they're weakest, they have these young guys that are coming up. And, it's like the outfield situation with Jacob Marcy and Grant Pauley and the different options. And Merrill, have these different options. That's obviously where the Padres are weakest. But, when you use a young player, and this is partially why some of the free agents aren't signing, if you have a position of weakness and you use and you have 2 or 3 young players, the error bars skew towards good. You know what I mean? If you're trying to put a guy, a veteran in there and they have a bad year, their error bars skew towards bad, like aging, But if you put Jackson Merrill out there, he could be just fine, or he could be great, because he's a young player. The sort of the ceiling is higher and the floor is lower. So, it seems like teams are really going towards like, okay, my worst place is I have like 3 young guys, and I hope one of them just steps forward and is better than we expect.
And do you think, though, do you think that's a wise strategy for A.J. Preller and the Padres to employ, because, again, Paulie was a third baseman. They've been playing him at first. Jackson Merrill was a shortstop. They've been playing him at left and now center almost exclusively. And Marcy's an actual outfielder. So do you think that's a good strategy? If you had 3 of those guys that made the team, which would be, I think, pretty staggering, is there enough ABs to go around to help develop them? Or would 2 of them or maybe 1 of them be better served down at AAA or AA, working on their craft?
Yeah, somebody's definitely going to go down. It's a bit of a battle. I would expect maybe 2 of the 3 to make it.
Wow. Okay.
Because to me, Jackson, when you look at lineup cards and like if you're trying to figure out what's happening in spring training, you just look at the A lineups. You can look at it at a box score and you can see all the veterans got the first 3 at bats, and then they got replaced by the guys who are going to AAA and AA mostly,
Yeah.
And Jackson Merrill is playing with the A lineup. He's playing, and he's not being moved around like some sort of utility guy. You're right. It's center field every day. And so that to me says he's making the team. And then I don't personally think the Profar Azocar situation is a good one. And I think that maybe eventually Paulie or Marcy comes up and takes that.
Makes sense.
But I do think it's kind of what they're going to go into the year with.
Don't foresee any moves then in the next week or so.
No. So then the big question is, does Marcy make it as like a fifth outfielder.
Right.
Which is possible because they don't really have an everyday DH. But
we have Brad Miller now. Don't forget about Brad Miller, recently added San Diego Padre Brad Miller.
I had already forgotten about Brad Miller, actually.
I did too. So somebody brought him up in the chat.
And Manny playing DH to begin the season might complicate things. So,
Eno, we will let you get back to your stair climbing and your meat smelling. I wonder what tonight is going to bring. Possibly maybe like a chimichurri or something.
Yeah,
that would be nice. So, and hopefully we'll catch up with you again soon, man. Thank you.
I've got a big piece up at the Athletic today with Ken Rosenthal. We didn't get to it, but the question is: are sweepers creating injuries? And one prominent surgeon thinks so. But last year, sweepers were like 3.5% of all pitches thrown in the big leagues. Like, I kind of think this is like, this new pitch is bad. I think it's velo, man. It's the velocity.
Our Joe Musgrove is
trying to add one.
He got roughed up in his first couple starts trying to work on that sweeper. So that's good stuff, man. We will definitely check it out. And thank you, buddy.
Joe Musgrove needs another breaking ball.
Another breaking ball.
Apparently,
yeah.
Well, I mean, Yu Darvish needs 3 more, obviously. So take care, Eno. Thank you, pal. Safe travels. Eno Sarris from The Athletic. He's always taking it to the next level and looking a little bit deeper. And I thought that was an interesting comment about, I mean, it's very logical and actually pretty obvious when you think about it, but a young player tends to get better. An old player tends to get worse.
Yeah, for sure.
So when you're counting on young players, you at least have that advantage built in.
Yeah.
They may not be great to begin with, but they're probably going to get better as they get more experience, they get more mature. They're going to get better. If you're counting on a kind of a retread has-been, you get a Matt Carpenter in there, they can fall off the cliff, and they can trend badly. They're probably not going to all of a sudden have the greatest season of their career when they're 34. But Merrill could take a rocket ship course up and be a great player. Now, there could be a learning curve, and it could be tough as well, but you're not immune when you play a veteran player from struggles. They struggle too.
They do.
And Eno made a good point there.
They do. Yeah, and I mean, Eno has the ability to sway me, but I'm still less confident than I was.
But he liked what he saw.
Yeah,
for the most part. Yeah. The accelerated spring, though, he feels like it's having an impact. We'll see a lot of bullpen guys. I think we expected that in the first 2 games.
Sure.
One day, Padres will have a normal spring training.
Someday.
Maybe next year.
With
maybe
no lockout, no WBC.
What's next year?
You guys are playing on the moon next year. It's going to be really cool.
Spring training starts on January 15th.
No excuses, though. No excuses. Because, like I said, the media at Dodgers camp, they have the same flight, everything. They got spring training a week earlier than we did, too. Probably a smart move.
Well, Joe's camp was even earlier than that. Maybe that's the difference maker. All right, we got 1 hour to go. Paulie's got some headlines. Reindl Report ahead here with Ben and Woods on 97.3 The Fan. Don't go away. Final hour of Ben and Woods here on a Friday. Annie and Elston coming up at 10 o'clock. And a busy weekend ahead in San Diego sports. You got Padres tonight at 5:30 here on 97.3 The Fan. Back in Cactus League action against the San Francisco Giants. Aztecs play at 7 o'clock tonight. It's senior night at Viejas Arena against Boise State. USD plays in the WCC tournament tonight against Pepperdine in their first game as the number 5 seed. Tomorrow, Seals game. Woodsy's going to be on the microphone at Pechanga Arena, trying to bounce back from that tough loss on Ben and Woods night.
Brutal loss.
Last Saturday. The Legion have their second game. They're on the road. Their home opener, I believe, is next weekend. That's on Sunday. They've got the Women's Gold
wanted
Cup.
to go to that game next week.
The Legion game? Oh, yeah, we're going to give away some tickets. Paulie reminded me here coming up this hour. It's to the home opener for the Legion. And then they've got the Women's Gold Cup final is Sunday afternoon at Snapdragon Stadium. Hopefully it's dried out a little bit since Wednesday night. But the U.S. against Brazil for the first ever Women's Gold Cup title. And if I'm missing any other big sports, I apologize. But busy weekend coming up. And you have a busy weekend, too. You've got T-ball, opening day. Well, first game.
First game, the opening day ceremonies got rained out last week, which is a bummer. But we got practice tonight because I run a tight ship. Practice tonight, first game tomorrow. We're playing golf in the morning with our pal Steve Sugimoto at 6:15 a.m.
Looking forward to seeing Steve before he departs for the Japan tour later this month.
So I'll go golf, T-ball, Seals game, and then I want to die. And then Paulie and I have a Tier 1 game on Sunday, baseball. We're back in action at your beloved Dave Roberts' alma mater.
Vista? RBV.
Ben, you do a great job.
RBV at 9 a.m.
And that's open if people want to go watch?
Yeah, tickets are there's still plenty
online
of free tickets.
97.3thefansd.com.
You know what? We're just going to waive it this week.
If you buy season tickets, do you get a discount?
Yeah,
Ben and Woods.
This week, just show up and you'll play.
69 cents.
I was working on some lineups last night. I'm going to try to get Paulie Reindl, at least Paulie in the starting lineup. I'm probably going to be feeling like death after the Seals game, but I'm going to try to get in there too.
Have you worked on signs yet for your T-ball team?
No signs.
No signs for the kids?
There's no rules, really. They don't keep score.
I loved, what were Flannery's signs that he shared with you if you missed that story when we were at fantasy camp?
He had so many different ones, but he had, belt, bunt. I mean, he's like, look.
B for B. Bunt, belt, bunt.
Belt, which is like.
Swipe the leg, slide.
Steal. I mean, it was like so elementary. And I said, you're kidding. He goes, oh, we had guys that were so dumb that if I walked towards them
while giving the signs,
that it was off. If I backed up giving the signs, they're on. Like he goes, they're dumb. Baseball players are dumb, and you have to dumb it down for them. So, I mean, honestly, as clear as walking towards you doing this, that means bunt. Walking away.
If I'm doing anything while walking towards you, it means bunt.
It means bunt. Right.
If I'm doing anything while walking away, just ignore it. It's a D.
It's incredible. I could have listened to that stuff for hours and hours. It was so good.
Was it LaRussa that he said? Flan told us. I think it was Tony
LaRussa.
I
think it was, yeah.
He goes, I knew that they had picked up on our signs. So when a situation called for a hit and run, and I knew that they knew. He goes, I switched up the signs, and I could hear Tony LaRussa from the dugout going, what the F?
Yeah,
and
switched
he just
your signs.
Pointing and laughing at him from the third base
So
box.
good, man. So good. I love it.
The game behind the game. That's
so I don't have to, running a T-ball team, you don't have to do any signs. The only rules are go up, swing as hard and as fast as you can, and run as hard and as fast as you can to first. And then try to make plays in the field. And that's really it. Now, the hard part is keeping 9 kids from all converging on the ball and staying on their feet and diving. And
I always like T-ball when there is a rare out that is made.
Yeah, we've actually made a bunch of outs last
You've made
year.
a bunch of outs. Do the opposing players who are out ever understand that they're out?
No, they stay on the base.
Or do they stay on the base and keep running?
Yeah, stay on the base.
Yeah.
Even if we had a fly out last year, kid caught it, the guy's still standing on first. Yeah. I'm like, well, I mean, it doesn't, everybody plays. It's fun. And I really enjoy it. I enjoyed coaching T-ball, and I'm pretty mean.
Are you in your mind going, okay, that runner's not really on base because
Bo
we
is.
actually got him out?
Bo's so competitive that he's like, you should be on. I'm like, just relax, just settle down. It's okay. But yeah, I'm excited, man. Get the bats. That's our squad this year. Going to be out there coaching it up tomorrow after golf. It's going to be a long day.
All right, let's turn things over to Paulie here. Get some headlines
and get things started here with our
Today's edition of the Reindl Report.
Now tuned into the greatest.
Welcome to the Reindl Report with Paul Reindl.
Hi, Paul.
All right.
2 stories from the world of sports that we haven't gotten to yet.
We'll start off in Major League Baseball.
And 1 story that you didn't know you needed.
Are you laughing, biatch?
It's the Reindl Report
Hey, Paul, how you doing?
Okay, how are you?
on 97.3 The Fan.
Are you ready to bless the mood? I need some help, please.
That was good.
Can I get a yeah? Oh, yeah.
All right.
All right. Gentlemen, we'll start off Major League Baseball. Saw this story getting a lot of buzz yesterday. It has been reported that the Miami Marlins are going to allow flags, drums, and musical instruments into games this season. And there was a note, pots and pans will not be permitted. It has to be actual instruments and drums. But I'd say Miami, it's going to be pretty electric. Now, with that addition to the home crowds, should every team allow this?
Woods and I are both looking. Who wants to go first and expose their oldness? I'll do it. No, I don't want that at every baseball game.
Oh, I'm so in favor of
right.
it, man. I love it. I think it's a great idea.
Is there a great atmosphere at soccer games when the supporters section chants and gets into it?
Yes.
Yes. For 162 baseball games, every single night, do I want to hear the drums just constantly throughout the game? I do not.
What if you're there?
I do not.
You can bring a trumpet in there if you want. You can bring a trombone in there if you want.
Wild thing.
Just over.
You make my heart sing.
And over. And over. And over. And over.
I know, I'm old. You're old. We're old.
I just want quiet for me. I just like quiet. I'm sorry.
I don't need singing throughout the game.
I just want quiet.
I'll go to a soccer game for that. What do you think Skip Schumacher, the manager of the Marlins, thinks about drums constantly during his games?
As the manager of a team that has attendance problems, he's probably all for it because it's going to get more people in his ballpark, which is probably a good thing. Guys out there playing the flute. It's going to be, Raul says it's not old, it's American. Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
I don't like excess noise, Raul. And xylophone. I don't really like excess noise. So I don't know what to do. I don't know that they're going to do it at Petco Park. Like I told you,
there's a lot of noise at Petco Park. Good noise.
I told you about the leaf blower next door.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. It's like it the way I like it.
Bring a triangle.
I just don't know.
Ding.
Just don't know. What does it do? Does it fire up the crowd?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
You know what the Padres need? More cowbell.
More cowbell. 100%. I don't know. I knew that you would feel the same way.
Yeah.
I went to a Loyal game and they were chanting and stuff, and it was kind of cool when they were chanting. But I also, after a while, was like, all right, we've heard it.
I think my son would like it. Younger generation possibly feels a different way than we do. Yeah. And I can accept that. Maybe certain games, like Bobby does the organ on Sundays.
Yeah.
Maybe there's one game designated per homestand as the drum game where people can bring their drums.
Yeah, I mean...
Vuvuzelas.
The vuvuzelas, just...
Remember that World Cup in South Africa? It was just constant the whole time. That sound. I can still hear that sound
I can't hear
right
it
now
in my sleep. Yeah.
All right, gentlemen, let's move forward. I got this clip sent to me, 10 times yesterday. So, college football here, and this came from an account on X it's at Blue Bloods Bias. College football content creation, unbiased coverage. They've got over 20,000 followers, and they posted, breaking, a former SEC quarterback has revealed that the Italian mob was actively rigging Alabama football games.
What?
This comes from a guy named Mo Hassan. He was a quarterback at Vanderbilt in the SEC for 2018 and 2019. He played in 6 games. He was the starting quarterback in their big win over number 21 Mizzou. So he has that on his resume, and he went on a podcast, and let me throw it up here for everybody who is watching us. Here's what he had to say. Let me know if you buy this or not.
I was approached at Jason Aldean's bar in Nashville by the Italian mob.
What?
To fix football games.
I'll be honest, this sounds like a story
like
that
the mafia?
I do not need to be a part of.
I went to get drinks, and so I'm alone right now. I'm not with my friend group. He comes up to me.
Wait, he knew who you were?
Yes.
This is already a bad start.
He offered me $300,000.
He offered you $300,000?
Right. He said, for something like this, my clients, $250 to $300K for a game.
The Italian mob offered you $300K to do what?
Will you stop saying that?
He said, we regularly talk to guys in your position about fixing games. He said he named guys in the SEC who I don't want to say their names because they're in the NFL right now, and that's a bad look.
Deal?
It's a bad deal. But University of Alabama, I will tell you that.
Holy crap.
He said almost every game in the SEC is rigged.
Too much for me.
All right, I have a couple questions. Number one, why do you have techno in the back of your podcast the whole time? That's all I could hear. So that sucks, number one. Number two, do you guys believe this?
No.
No.
Well, I mean, he meant, what, 2018? I mean, I'm just looking at Alabama. How many games did they rig? They won. This is their schedule in 2018. They won by 40, 50, 60, 20, 50, 30, 30, 30, 30, 25, 30, 30.
Who did they play with the 20?
They won by 20 against Missouri.
Rigged.
That was actually 29.
100% rigged.
Texas
What
A&M.
about
22nd ranked Texas A&M. They only won by 22 that game.
Yeah, that's rigged.
I don't know. What were they favored by?
I don't think the Italian
40.
mob.
That was a ranked team. They won by 7 against number 4 Georgia. They won by 11 in the semifinal against number 4 Oklahoma. They did lose to number 2 Clemson in the championship game. If you want to think that one was rigged, we can call Jabo's
You're not
championship
buying
out.
the Italian mob rigging college football games?
Or trying to rig? Yeah, I
Maybe
buy that.
trying. I don't
where's
know.
the freaking gabagoo?
But successfully rigging Alabama games, I don't think so.
Not to lose, but not to cover is pretty good.
Nick Saban as the coach of that team did not seem like he was ever afraid to pour it on opponents.
Yeah, which is why it's weird when they win by 20.
They very rarely won by 20.
That's interesting. I mean, that's some ballsy for him to say, too.
If it's not
If
true.
it's not true, why would you make that up? That doesn't make any sense.
Big allegations.
I mean, I'm sure they're going to have...
I don't see the point. I mean, I guess unless he just really doesn't care and just wanted a clip to go viral, maybe, but I don't know. Interesting.
He had 17 pass attempts in 7 games over 2 years for Vandy, which somebody says. Why would they go to him?
Well, Vandy, they lost a lot of games.
They did.
You could win a lot of money betting against Vandy.
Guy says, I'm not sure what's less believable, that the Italian mob was hanging out in a country bar in Nashville and happened to run into him, or that the Italian mob was following him and waited until they could corner him in a country bar in Nashville. Interesting.
Hey. Don't make me get the...
It's my favorite. It's the best thing that's ever been on the
Hey,
internet.
where's the freaking gabagoo?
What's that from?
It's just this guy.
Video
that this guy does. He's amazing.
Like cosplaying an Italian mobster. He's
So
got
good.
the sweatsuit. And just,
You model. It's great.
Hey. Hey, where's the freaking gabagoo?
It's so good.
You mother. You mother. Don't make me get the.
It's the best.
Any excuse to play that.
I love that guy.
Any excuse, I will always play.
I wish he was friend. I wish he was my friend.
Yes.
Because I would make him
I
do
wish
it
he was
all
our
the time.
co-host.
I know. I would make him do it all the time.
All right, and then finally, you got a story here. Occasionally you will see chain restaurants kind of combined in the same building. I have seen KFCs and Taco Bells together.
It's a weird combo.
If you go to the mall, you might see a Orange Julius and a Dairy Queen together.
That makes sense to me.
We've got a new one. here,
Okay.
and it's going to be Applebee's
Okay.
and IHOP.
Ooh.
They are
Apple Hops
launching co-branded locations. They have a parent company that owns both chains, Applebee's and IHOP, and they are coming together. And I really don't know how this is gonna look, but I don't know if it's gonna be one big ass building with this side is breakfast with IHOP and then this side is Applebee's, or if it's one big restaurant where you can just pick off both menus. I'm not sure.
Ever eaten at Applebee's, Ben?
Yes, I've eaten at Applebee's. There was one near when I went to college.
Pomona.
Yep.
Did you like it?
Wasn't my favorite.
Shocked.
So they're going to combine back of the house cooking areas, blending front of the house dining areas with discrete entrances. So
Discrete.
2 different entrances.
Like adult-only entrances to IHOP and Applebee's.
I think discreet just means different.
They've
Like,
tried this. They've opened like 8 locations internationally just to kind of see how it would work.
Love the one in Paris. Went there when I was there. I didn't, actually.
The most recent one opened just north of Mexico City.
Okay. I would do that, actually. I don't mind Applebee's, and I actually quite like IHOP, like a lot. If I have the choice between IHOP and like Denny's, I take IHOP. I'm an IHOP guy. Good
Remember when
omelets.
they changed it to IHOB?
IHOB for a day.
International
as a
House
bit.
of Burgers
Yeah,
is a bit.
It was a bit.
You like bit restaurants.
I love bit restaurants, but I do like IHOP a lot. I like that idea. What else do we need?
CEO of Dine Brands Global
What a
said,
name. Dying Brands.
The idea is they're trying to reduce costs, maximize revenue, attracting customers that dine at different parts of the day.
Okay.
And just get them all in one location.
Yeah. Makes sense to me. I'm here for it.
It's another combo
We can
that
combine all kinds of brands.
Peoria will have like 4 of them.
Yeah.
IHOP,
Oh,
Applebee's. It's got to be the first place in America that goes, Peoria. Don't you think?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it is chain central.
On chain, man. Chain on
They
chain.
could just combine some of those places right across the street from the Peoria Sports Complex.
PF Chang's with Cheesecake Factory. The menu is 55.
PF Factory.
PF Factory. Cheesecake Chang's. Delicious.
PF Cheesecake.
I mean, I'm all in.
What would be the ideal chain combo?
Like ideal, like 2 really good ones that you could put together.
March and Ash and Taco Bell.
That would be fantastic. Dispensary
That's a good one.
and Taco Bell would be solid.
You know, they're already super close to each other everywhere you go. Chick-fil-A and In-N-Out.
Fantastic.
They're in the same parking lot or right across
Chicken
the
Out.
street
Chicken
every
Out.
time.
Chicken Out.
Yeah.
In-N-A. In-N-A. It's
In-N-A?
good. Yeah.
I like
In-N-A.
Chicken Out.
It's fantastic, Paulie.
What else can we do?
Oh, we'll think about it. We're late, so we got to go to break.
All right, we will continue to think of chain mashups, and we'll come back. We'll give away some Legion tickets when we return as well. It's Ben and Woods. Checking traffic. More on the way on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. I've been thinking about mashups that I would like. And, I love a good fancy restaurant, and I like golf. So can I combine like a Top Golf with like George's at the Cove and put those two together as my restaurant matchup? So,
I mean, I think, that's probably a good idea. Probably good upper echelon
top
type.
Mr. A's, sort of, you can hit balls at the driving range and get a 5-star meal at the same time.
I think that's actually a pretty good idea because, the food at Top Golf is, it's whatever.
Okay.
It's okay.
It's not bad.
It's not bad.
It's not bad.
Not great. It's like Applebee's. It's a little like Applebee's. So.
I'm pretty sure our buddy Roman out in Jersey said he goes to Top Golf just to get the wings.
The wings?
Like
at
if he
Top
wants
Golf?
wings, I'm going to go to Top
How about
Golf.
explicit and Top Golf?
Ooh,
Would that be
now
something
we're
that you'd be
talking.
interested? Delilah is running up with your
Strip
with
club
all of your
/ driving range.
with all of your balls for you to hit.
Ball
couldn't-
delivery.
Probably couldn't
Might
keep
be
me
onto
away.
something here.
Topless Top Golf.
Topless
golf.
Topless golf.
Topless
Come
golf.
up with the match.
Like top
the mashup.
parentheses
Yeah,
list.
less
golf.
Sold. Where are you going?
$1 billion idea.
I'm going to hit balls again. Again, you're going to go hit balls. Yeah.
Working on my game.
I'm working. My game
Gotta
is
practice.
really,
Practice makes perfect.
Really bad right now, but I am committed to getting better on the course.
I mean, saves on rent for everybody. They're actually fairly close to each other there in Arizona.
They are. Yeah, they are really close. Same street, I think.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Very.
Interesting.
That's copyright trademark by Ben & Woods. That's the next thing. Ben & Woods topless golf. Not us topless golf. Nobody wants to see that. It's the worst thing that you want to see.
Put your top back on.
We did. We played one time. Paulie and I played one day in 2 years ago in July. We were playing at the Vineyard, and we looked behind. We looked behind us at the Vineyard. I go, does that guy have his shirt off? And lo and behold, he sure did. He was playing golf. It was warm. I get it, but you're on a golf course, and that doesn't matter if it's a $20 green fee or a $120 green fee. You keep your shirt on at the golf course, all right? You hayseed. You don't take your shirt off at the golf course. He was in jean shorts and no shirt, and Paulie and I go, that dude is shirtless. Paulie has.
There was
picture.
4 guys. There were older guys.
It was incredible. It was incredible.
If you take your shirt off to play golf, you might.
You might be a redneck.
100% at this point.
It was not great.
All right, we've got a pair of tickets to give away. Next Saturday, March 16th, is the home opener for the SD Legion. They're going to be taking on Rugby FC Los Angeles. So I don't know if all the Rugby FC Los Angeles fans are going to kind of try to come down and flood Snapdragon Stadium, but we can fill it up with Legion fans by giving away 2 tickets right now. Let's do the third caller at 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. Legion trying to bounce back. Remember, they got to the championship game last season. They were the favorites. They lost by a point or 2 in the championship. The San Diego curse, man. We get so close. Aztecs got to the championship game, lost to UConn last year. It is very hard for us to get over the top. The Legion's certainly one of those teams that have a chance.
Padres had that run differential that you mentioned earlier. Didn't even make the playoffs.
They did not.
So that's weird.
Got to the NLCS the year before.
They did.
Did not quite get over the top. Maybe this is the year for the Legion. Call now, 833-288-0973. Give away a pair of tickets for the home opener next Saturday. Oh, you got a picture of the said offender on the golf course. It does look like a warm day.
Is it 2 guys with their shirts on?
Yeah, I think so.
2 guys.
Well, once one takes it off, I mean, it's kind of more comfortable for the rest of the group.
Absolutely
We're on the
disgusting.
it's a par 3 over some water, and we're on the tee box, and we're going, oh, come on.
Oh, my
Figure
God.
it out. That was late summer 2020.
I mean, you get a little color. I mean, golf tan is a real problem.
It is, but you're
that's a real problem
that is
here.
repulsive.
Yeah. So they have figured out the solution. Just play topless golf.
Yeah.
Let's take our last time out. We'll come back. If you missed it, had a big announcement earlier today. We'll fill you in on some of the details, get you ready for Annie and Elston. Things Ben likes to wrap up the week. All coming up next on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. We have almost made it. Next week, Padres will depart for Korea. And then the week after that, baseball is back officially. Let's see. I think we're going to have Doug Glanville on sometime next week.
Yes,
Early
that is
guest
the plan.
tease. We'll talk more and more baseball. Not that we don't already talk a lot of baseball. We do. But as the season gets a little bit closer, obviously, we're going to dial it in. And you know where to get your Padres coverage here every single morning. Day in and day out with Ben and Woods on 97.3 The Fan.
We won't let you down.
No, we will not. Let's check traffic, and then we got a few more minutes left here, wrapping up the week on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 97.3 The Fan Traffic Center, here's Kelly Danick.
Well, not only are there no incidents or accidents to mention, really no brake lights. Now, westbound 52, you're pretty much full blast out of Santee. I'm Kelly Danick, Ben and Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Did mention Aztecs tonight. It is senior night at Viejas Arena. I do have a tiny bit of good news that I didn't share. This is probably the kind of stuff that only Ben cares about because he really gets in the weeds. But yesterday, for whatever reasons, the math of the results that happened around college basketball, UNLV moved up from 76 to 75 in the net rankings, which means that the Aztecs' loss this week is now a quad 1 loss instead of a quad 2. So the Aztecs go back to being undefeated and have no blemishes other than quad 1 games on their actually very solid resume. Now, I don't know if it'll hold. Kind of depends on how UNLV does against Nevada in their last game. But San Diego State remaining number 19 in the net rankings. They've got 5 teams in the Mountain West that are in the top 35 of those rankings. Actually, 6 teams are in the top 35 of the net rankings. So it's going to be a wide open next week Mountain West Conference tournament.
When's that tournament start? Next Thursday?
It starts on Wednesday with those 6 and below seeds. That's what the Aztecs are trying to avoid with a win tonight. And then the quarterfinals are on Thursday. Semifinals are on Friday. Finals are on Saturday, and then it'll be Selection Sunday, 1 week from Sunday, when they'll reveal the brackets, and we'll find out where San Diego State is headed as they try to fight their way back to the Final Four for a second straight season.
Paulie, was that something that you did in college? Did you go out to the Mountain West tourney?
Like 3 years in a row.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Man.
I got a ton of friends. The whole Tier 1 basketball team, most of them are either SDSU fans or alum.
Yep.
And we actually play on Thursday nights. And half our team will be departing for the tournament.
After the game.
We don't know. Some guys will be there for the game next week, next Thursday night. They're leaving Friday morning. A couple guys are like, I'm already out.
Shout out to the
Thursday.
Tier 1 baseball team for their commitment. I mean, we have a 21-man roster. We've got 17 coming this week.
Well, if any of them can hoop, I might need them next week.
Benny, have you ever been to the Mountain West?
Yeah, it's a great place for a college basketball tournament.
Yeah.
Obviously, they get tons of hotel rooms, tons of arenas. Mountain West, they play at the Thomas and Mack Center, which is UNLV's arena. But
you know who I saw?
The Pac-12 tournament is there. The WCC tournament is going on right there. And I hear the Big Ten is thinking about moving their tournament.
All at the same time?
All at the same. Well, WCC is this week. It's going on right now. Pac-12 and Mountain West go on at the same time. T-Mobile Arena for the Pac-12, Thomas and Mack for the Mountain West. Although there is discussion that once the Pac-12 goes away, that the Mountain West might move into T-Mobile Arena and not play it at UNLV's home arena, but that's more expensive, so they're still in discussions about what they're going to do.
You know who I saw perform at the Thomas and Mack Center? I've never been there for a basketball game, but I saw Eminem perform at the Thomas and Mack Center when I lived in Vegas for a very short time.
Wow.
It's terrible.
Everything's very conveniently located. The Thomas and Mack is like 3-4 blocks off the strip.
Yeah.
It's all very close there.
I've walked there from our hotel before.
You can get there pretty easily. But it's crazy. I mean, how many arenas? Now they've got Allegiant Stadium, T-Mobile Arena. They've got the MGM Grand Garden. They've got the Orleans Arena. They've got the Thomas and Mack Center. There's plenty of venues to hold however many events. And now there's the Sphere, too. Maybe they can do the Mountain West tournament in the Sphere.
Would be the greatest.
Now, you've been there. Is there enough room for a basketball court?
There's room for 6 basketball courts.
There is.
It's massive.
It's huge.
It's massive. Massive, massive, massive. Like, you can't believe the size of it until you walk in it and look up and go, oh, you feel like you're in Star Wars. I mean, it's truly like, it was the most amazing experience. It was just incredible. And that U2's run has come to an end. I think it ended last week, so they're done. And now, who slides in?
Fish
is next.
And then the Dead and Co. Will be there. I have no interest in either of those. But
you know who would be good at Sphere?
Michael McDonald.
No. I mean, I would see it, but Madonna. Don't you think that she'd put on a good show at the Sphere? Very Vegas. Feel like it would be high energy. use that venue to its maximum effect?
Yeah, I think so. The thing is about the Sphere, and this is why U2 is great. U2 is a pretty arrogant band, Bono and everything. And I love them. I love them so much. But they were so smart in the way that they tackled it. They said, "Oh, we're not the star of the show here. The Sphere is the star. We're literally here for background music." So their stage was very simple, just a black stage, looked like a record player, and it was just them. Now, everything around them is clearly incredible, but they decided right away, people are here to see us, yes, but they're really, the whole show, people are looking up at what's going on above them. So I thought that was really the right way to handle it. But I do think a big pop star like Madonna, Beyonce, somebody like that, I think they would crush it in there.
Elisa says Madonna is washed up. I don't really know what the current status of Madonna is.
Still would, by the way.
Beyonce has been rumored, like they've talked, MSG or whatever.
Now, I wouldn't go see any of those. I have to love it to go see it, especially there, because the tickets were what I paid.
Pricey.
What I paid for that whole deal was
what were the
shocking.
fees on your tickets? Just give us the fees without giving us the ticket price.
I couldn't get tickets to the show. I signed up. You two got me, so it was like, hey, sign up for our fan club. It's $50, and then you'll have priority access. I'm like.
Do you get stickers or anything with
I
that?
haven't gotten a damn thing. Not one thing. I keep waiting for
Worst
like a
fan club ever.
Seriously,
That's a great concept.
Terrible.
Sign up for the Ben and Woods fan club for
We'll send you
$50.
we'll send you nothing.
Nothing. And we'll keep the $50.
And we'll just inform you early on things like we could have texted people about the 7 Mile
That's true.
drop. But so I couldn't get tickets. So I signed up for the fan club. I was like, all right. So I got in the early fan club only pre-sale. Sold out. 30 seconds. Sold out. So I'm like, I'm dead. And then I saw at the bottom, special VIP packages available. And I saw the price and I went, oh no. Could I do this? I'm doing it. And I did it.
I know.
And you only live once.
Beyonce and Harry Styles have both been rumored to at least been approached. And if that happens, Mrs. Reindl, we will be probably taking out a credit card because she will not miss either of those acts at the Sphere.
I just
in
don't
Loan
Vegas.
pronto.
Does that
Woods,
mean you have?
yeah.
That means you have to go
Oh, yeah.
too.
And I would. Just for that experience.
The experience is great, but to sit for 3 hours and watch, Harry Styles would be tough.
Yeah.
For me. And like the experience only lasts. It lasts, for a while, but you have to. In my opinion, I think you have to.
I think I would
love the music.
If given the opportunity, I would probably see anybody at the Sphere.
Yeah.
Just to go to the Sphere.
It's pretty amazing.
It's like back in November, got to tour Red Rocks.
Yeah.
And I'm like, if we've talked about going out to Denver during the summer, watch the Padres when they're out there for a couple of games. And I go, if there's a band, if I know one song and they're playing Red Rocks, I want to go.
It's amazing.
Like, I want to be
It's
there.
an incredible venue.
I'm very now intrigued by the idea of holding a sporting event inside the Sphere and like utilizing it in a way. They had the NBA All-Star Weekend and they had the LED floor.
Yeah, bro, you couldn't
this
even
would just
imagine.
be taking it to the next level.
I can't even imagine what they would do. What they would do in the Sphere for that. So, anyway,
Get the Golden Knights to just move over there for a game.
I know. I'm surprised they haven't already. So that's next weekend in Vegas. You're not going to this one though, right?
Got some friends here.
Oh man, we got more friends here.
More
Holy
food.
cow! Hang on.
Just what we need.
Yeah, it's been a full house this morning here on Ben and Woods, which is great. We appreciate that. Come on in, just join the water's fine. Join the party. Yeah, do you want to talk about everybody who's here today here, Woods?
A lot of people. This is the most crowded I think
Go
this
ahead.
has ever been.
Yeah, pandemic's definitely over.
Go ahead.
Well, I don't know who everybody has just walked in. You've kind of invited most of the people here. First of all, just Texas Roadhouse just walked in.
Yep. They brought us some ribs.
Our friends at Texas Roadhouse, fine. Ribs are always good.
We got Tier 1's Kyle and Carrie here.
Yep.
Thank you guys for coming in.
They've been here most of the morning.
Mm-hmm. And then we got my man Marshall. Marshall on the mic. So he does a show. And your brother's name again is?
Ramad. I missed that one.
And Marshall does he's starting a show. It's called, what is it called? Dago Sports Show. And he does a lot of PA stuff. So he hit me up a month ago or so. We chatted on the phone, and he's going to interview me for his show. Not you, just me today. Sorry.
Does that make you mad, Ben?
Does that make you mad? A little hurt.
No, I'm fine. It's fine. I've noticed that he's been getting some B-roll behind the scenes. It's been mostly of you.
Still got love for you, Ben.
He's feeling a little left out.
No, I'm good. I'm good. I've got a lot on my plate. I'm fine. I'm glad you're
now you have
promoting
ribs.
our show. It's
Now you have ribs on your
yeah.
plate. I hope my wife's not listening because I will indulge.
No, you're not going to have a bite. You've been so good so far this morning.
Totally.
You're not going to cave to the rib pressure.
I promise you I will. I promise you. So good.
Might as well reveal this. I found my son went on a date to Texas Roadhouse this week.
Really?
Yeah.
Which son?
Graham.
Graham.
Yeah.
He took his date?
His girl his date. They went to Texas Roadhouse.
Now, he's a big fan. Which one of your...
They both like Texas Roadhouse a lot.
Yeah.
That's why we end up there a lot, because it's always their request.
How did he do?
He said it went well.
That
I
was
didn't cry too
was
much.
his spaghetti warehouse.
Is that the...
Yeah. That was Cotton Eye Joe, Rednecks.
I love it.
Got the NASCAR pictures all on the wall. The happy birthday. How does the happy birthday song go at Texas Roadhouse again?
Oh, it's Attention, Texas Roadhouse. We have Stephen Woods today. He's turned 21. Let's give it a round of applause. Woo! And then you say, on the count of three, I need your loudest, proudest, Texas size yeehaw. 1, 2, 3.
Yeehaw!
I'm here for it, man. I'm absolutely here.
Where did you spend your 21st birthday, by the way?
A place called Club Clearview in Dallas, Texas. Did the 20?
Sounds like a place where you can
get your eyes done.
Removed or something.
Yeah, Club Clearview, 21 shots. Did the 21 on 21. It was the worst night of my life. Vomited on the stage. It was horrible. Because then when you get to like 17 shots, they start buying either really gross ones like the Three Wise Men and the cement
Midori.
mixer. No, like those I could have pounded. It's the one that was Jim, Jack, and Johnny mixed in a shot. The Three Wise Men. Oh, horrendous. So I did the 21 shots, vomited everywhere. And
that's like scotch and
two
whiskeys together
terrible,
in one shot.
Have you ever had a cement mixer?
No.
You take a shot of Bailey's and then a shot of lime juice, and it turns into a paste in your mouth, and it's called cement mixer. It's absolutely disgusting.
Let's see. I had a Russian peach once. That was pretty good, actually.
Yeah.
Vodka and peach schnapps
I bet
together.
that's delicious.
That was not bad at all. Paulie, worst shot you've ever had? I can't
Worst
stand like
shot?
Jägermeister.
Oh, I love Jaeger.
I do not like Jägermeister.
I don't like Jaeger.
Love Jaeger.
I don't like shots in general.
Love shots.
I'll do a shot of tequila or a shot of Jameson, but like bottom shelf whiskey, like a shot of Jack.
Yeah, love Jack. I love shots of anything.
I don't mind Fireball, and I
love
Corey
Fireball.
Stewart, our tier 1, is going to hate this. I dread every time he comes by with that
Screwball.
screwball peanut butter whiskey.
I love it.
It turns my stomach.
It's so
the
good.
best.
It really is. It's hard for me to get that down.
You ever had 21 shots in a night?
No.
It was not.
I don't think I've ever had 21 shots in a year.
It was not a pleasurable experience.
So those are a couple of things that I don't like. Jägermeister. Very few things I don't like. A lot of things I do like. Paulie, if you would get us to the things Ben likes to wrap up our week here.
I like good, juicy, sweet strawberries.
I like a good marching band. I like a good thin pancake.
I like a Nickelback song or two.
I like a barbecue chicken pizza. I really like those seeds. I like a midnight buffet. I kind of like the smell of soft scrub. I like more of a small derriere. I like cake.
I like Ed Sheeran.
I like both a hamburger and a cheeseburger. I like clocks. I like how I've kind of set up my life. I like grasshopper pie.
Oh, no, I like it creamy.
I like good, firm banana. I like just looking out at the sea. I like eating.
I like moist.
I like curry.
I like big butts.
I like fried Brussels sprouts. I like more of a firm filling. I like corn.
I like Nordstrom.
I do like musicals.
I like pepperoni. I like nice hotels. I like Nick getting a start today. I like nuts. I like Steph Curry. I like that song.
I like Squirt.
I like Saki. I like San Diego State.
I like Straight Up, Paula Abdul.
I like the beef and broccoli. I like to mix it up. I like Science Experiments. I like that song. I like the crispiness of the waffle. I really like cheese. I like the little lunch meat. I like very straight lines. I like cannelloni. I like a well-crafted headline. I like brown sugar. I like maps. I'll say I like Justin Turner.
I like going to golf games. I like diving into chores.
I like sugar.
I do like Butterfinger. I like blue and silver are not bad colors. I like the time change. I like Major League Baseball's new rule. I like the radio. I like geography. I like the knuckle method. I like Skippy. And I like pie. I like Bob Melvin. I really do. I like Jace Tingler, too. I like this day. I like being right. I still do like movie scores. I like good food. I like maps. Right. I like when interviews can turn into organic conversation. I do like a Stouffer's French bread pizza. I like having the wind go through my hair. I think I like shows that the characters have an arc. I like the full lettuce, tomato, onion experience as well. I like those kind of burgers. I like the big overflowing bag of fries. I like those little Smarties rolls. I liked what I saw from Seth Lugo. I liked his competitive fire. I like walking around between the different lands. Steve Kerr, though, I like that. I like living on the coast. I like watching Tigers still. I like the idea of that matchup. I liked what I saw in the preseason. I like the aloneness sometimes of Texas Hold'em. I like watching San Diego State basketball. I like those cashew-buttered cashews. I like cold, clear sake. All right, and then I do not like Dad Bod Pod Squad calling me out when I said you could watch the sunrise at 7 Mile Casino. He goes, Ben, the sunrise is in the east, not over the Pacific Ocean. 7 Mile actually is a building with 4 sides. You can actually look both directions. If you're looking out over San Diego Bay, turn around and you can actually see the sunrise to the east.
He does not like to be called out. There's
a patio, there's multiple sides, multiple windows, faces multiple directions. So that is our viewing party. It's coming up on Wednesday, March 20th at 3 a.m. We're going to be there for the Padres-Dodgers game to open the season in Korea. It's brought to you by Soapy Joe's, and then we'll be there for a live Ben and Wood show around 7 a.m. or so, we think, whenever Sammy finishes with the postgame show. We'll be on until 10 a.m. live to kick off the Padres season. That was our special announcement earlier this morning. If you missed it, you are all invited. Tier 1s, listeners, all of San Diego. Channel 10's coming out, I think, to do some live remotes as well. So if you're looking for a place to watch that first game, you don't want to do it just by yourself in a very dark, quiet living room or bedroom, you can come out to 7 Mile Casino and join us for the first game of the season.
Is it time change this weekend?
Yep.
Sunday.
Spring forward 1 hour less of sleep on Saturday night into Sunday.
I hate it.
Keep that in mind as well.
Cool.
So when we join you at 6 a.m.
It'll be 5.
On Monday, it'll feel like 5 a.m. on Monday. We will be back then. Annie and Elston are up next. For Paul Reindl, for Stephen Woods, I'm Ben Higgins. Have a great weekend, everybody, from all of us here at San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. So long.